Huh? I love you more, but you got to talk to the mic. That's how you do it. Into the mic, just like Jill.
You know, like I said, I'm learning. I'm a beginner. You know, you gotta train the beginnings. You gotta tell them what you like, what you don't like.
No, just do you. That's all that matters.
You gotta do you to an extent, but you also gotta guide them along the way. You know, everybody needs a little guidance.
This is true. This is very true. Uh-oh.
Our youngins gotta learn from something, right?
Damn straight.
Knowledge is power.
All right, you almost ready there, Lefty?
Almost.
What's up, baby? How the hell are you? Oh, yes. It has begun.
Hi, Richie.
Got Richie and the Queen here.
Oh! There's Denise. Denise is here. Hey, what's up? Sweet.
Yes, there is a McDonald's number 420.
Better now? There we go.
I was like 420. What?
Welcome to Trenton.
You're pretty proud of that 420 McDonald's, aren't you?
I am, and the fact that it's like so close to home, like it's gonna be the only McDonald's I fucking go to.
I heard about it, all about it on the ride up.
What number was it?
420. And I think I'm gonna go there today at 420.
They saw you coming. Hey.
I'm sure you did. Because you're a lefty. Happy Lefty Day yesterday.
Was it really Lefty Day yesterday?
Yes, it was.
I didn't know that.
I'm a lefty.
I didn't get a present or nothing.
Me neither. Look, at least I said Happy Lefty Day.
You did. Thank you. Happy Lefty Day.
Well, thank you.
Happy Lefty Day.
Yeah, to the
Left-handed
lefties.
pound.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, left-handed. Yeah,
Awesome.
Makes sense.
Any more lefties here?
No.
Nah, y'all stink.
Yeah. They're just not exactly.
We're not as creative.
See?
What was it? It was creative, enthusiastic.
All those things. All the good things in life.
Yep,
That's what
absolutely.
we are.
Musical. You know. It said something about how we can speak. We speak well. Yeah.
Two words.
Off the cuff.
Yes. 2 words. Jimi Hendrix. Thank you.
There you
Drop
go.
the mic.
There it is.
Oh, and lefties.
Did you really drop the mic?
Drop it.
Lefties win Super Bowls. You got to remember that one too, right?
That's right.
I mean, my kid's a right-handed, but he has a left-handed spiral, and I'm fucking proud of that shit. Grandma won't let him play football though, so
I have mixed feelings on that.
it's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, but see, because he's a model and actor, like his agents don't want him playing football either because
I think that's a pretty good reason.
He can get hurt,
Sure.
and they're like,
Well, forget about
nothing
modeling
that can
acting.
nothing that can mess the face up. No, he got into the Children's American Ninja now. And
Nice.
he's kicking some ass. They said that he had the best, they had that warped wall that they had to climb up and slide down. They said that he had like the best skill of any child that they had seen in
All right,
like
cut the
years,
mics, bro.
so.
You know what time it is.
We got skills.
It's the intro, baby.
We got skills. Ready? We out.
Bring in the boss one, I'm gonna get mine. Go do the crime, if you can't do the time, don't tell me how you're off and down. When you're smiling in my face, but you play me like a clown, it's your fool bitch. So just step back, or I'm mad that when I come down set. I thought you were my piece, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. I'm back on the scene. Time to get mean, I'm a lean. Revolution machine. Won't want people stay, they sway. 1, 2 day is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly this, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises all the time. Don't cross the line, and you know it's right. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Travel back. Get something in your rhythm. 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 Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? 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 Who you wanna roll with?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to get high. Oh, sorry, that's not how it goes. But hey, that's how it's going to start today, everybody. It's the Ignorance is No Excuse Tour Pop-Up Podcast. Starring the one, the only, Lefty Grind. You're right there. Hey, don't choke on that.
It's not a
It's the
Kabasi.
cough that gets you. Oh, jeez. I got to listen to Kabasi jokes already.
It's not a Kabasi. I wouldn't choke on that anyway.
Jesus. Oh, my. So here we are in front of the annex at the State House in Trenton, New Jersey.
Coughing only helps the high, you know that. You know
Right.
what they say.
It's the cough that gets you off, baby. You know what's up. So how we all doing today? Huh? It's a beautiful day, finally. You woke up this morning. It was a beautiful, gorgeous, sunny day.
Sure is.
It's
Yeah.
like summer, right?
It's like living the dream.
We
Right.
are living the dream.
I'd be
Absolutely.
floating in my pool right now if I wasn't here.
I'd ask to look at your weed, but I don't want to weed shame you, okay?
No, I want. Like, did you see it? I sent you pictures.
I'm gonna weed
This is
shame
what
you.
man.
I'm definitely gonna
like,
weed shame you right now.
I mean, this is bullshit too. Cause and I told George, I was like, George,
Here you go.
yo,
Here.
I said, to
There you
George,
go. Fucking Curaleaf right
Yo.
here.
And this is the bullshit
There
that
you go.
George. I wish he was here today. If George was here today, George and I'd have go down because George himself picked this shit out for me because I told him what I needed that
Yeah,
day.
Off his lawn.
And he went himself and he's like, I'm gonna make sure I get you the best that I have. And this was the shit he gave me, all right? This was the best nug in the
Let's
bag.
look at this. Let's
The
look at
best
this.
nug in the bag. And then
Here.
the rest of this
Here
shit.
you go. Here's some cookie wreck. Here's some fucking Wappa. There you go.
Look at this. This is their bud. This is bud.
Don't get me started.
And then this is what was in. Now I'm not because of the like.
Yeah,
this
you
is their
might wanna,
bud.
like, you know
This is
what?
their bud.
That don't look that bad.
That's
Actually, this looks
I
pretty
mean,
good.
you know, like what did you pay?
That doesn't look too bad.
$90.
Smell it.
90, and how much was it?
It was
Smell it.
90,
No,
90
no,
for a quarter. But I mean, really, like this is their bud. Like
Smells good.
there's a couple decent ones, and then the rest is like shake in the bottom.
This smells okay.
So all you can see are the bigger things, and then they hide the shit in the bottom. So when they bring it out, you can't see it. You can't see
What
the
is
bottom.
what's the actual drain name?
It's called Sunburn. It's
That's the
nice.
Sunburn.
It's nice. It tastes nice. It has a nice taste to it. It really this is what's helped me the most going downgrading from the opioids. Like this shit has like really gotten me through. But at the end of the day, like really, man, like really, that's what you call bud. That's what I call dirt.
So that's
But-
actually a lot better than what
The-
I got a month ago.
Yeah, I've seen worse from
Right, and I've gotten worse
But-
from them. But this is what he picked this out himself, saying that
Oh, that was
this
the
was the
goods.
conversation in the
Right.
in
you
the
got a
line.
good one.
You got a good one.
You
And,
did.
and
You got a
this
good one.
was supposed to be the best.
He took care of you.
And so he went to the back and he picked this out for me.
But shouldn't it
And
just
this
be all
is what I
consistent?
got. Like,
Did he bend you over first?
Oh.
you know what? I feel like I no lube, no kiss, no
Oh.
nothing. Like, really, man?
A bite to eat, maybe?
Ow.
Like, no, nothing.
Nothing.
Like nothing, not even a glass of water to help you. Like,
Aftercare?
Nothing. Nothing.
Didn't even spit on it?
No,
Just
like
nothing?
totally dry, totally bent
Oh,
over,
hurtful.
like took
Hurtful.
it up the ass, like totally, man. Like really, this is what you call.
Did you get a discount with that?
Well, I do. I get
Okay.
because being disabled, so I get
No,
the
no,
20%.
no. I'm just wondering
But-
because that is the top
but
dollar.
Still,
That
like
is
this
one
is
of
the
his
top.
dollar
Yeah, this
buds,
is the
right?
top dollar bud. Yeah, this is
If
the
I'm paying for
premium
that with
bud.
no discount because I don't get one,
like,
that's 500 plus tax, right?
like I mean, well,
Wow.
What's the
depending
what's the
on where
potency
you
on that?
go.
What's the label say?
I don't know. I can't see that shit. I suck. You have glasses.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
16%.
It's bullshit.
16%.
bullshit.
16%.
But I mean, it did like take
You
the
can't
edge
go-
off and get me through going the downgrade and off of the morphine. So it did help with that. The Chem Dog's pretty good. Like when you get the Chem Dog,
Jim,
like
grab a mic, Jim.
the Chem
I wanna hear
Dog,
Oh, do you?
the Chem Dog is pretty good. I gotta say that. Wait, but like the quality of what the crap that they sell,
Yeah.
that they could, this is what they call bud. Now let me tell
Yeah,
you
it's not-
something. Like people down Egg Harbor all the time, and okay, whatever you feel like this shit in Egg Harbor, that's what they would sell as shake. Even that bud, that's what you get in their shake containers.
Jim?
Okay.
Yeah, the
Like,
cookie wreck I know was real tiny buds for a while. I bought some
I love to make
Gorilla
butter
Glue
with
a while
that.
back that was grass clippings pretty much.
Yeah, and the,
Yeah.
And
and,
he
and,
said,
and,
"Oh,
and
well,
the
they
potent-
might." He said they might have rushed to cure it. I said
They might have.
rushed.
Might have. Wait.
Maybe.
You mean they
I bought
skipped
since-
it?
Might
I bought
have.
it since, and it was good. But the Chem Dog was real nice, and the Blue Dream
Chem
was
Dog
real
I enjoyed.
nice. Nice
I enjoyed
bud,
Chem
Yeah.
Dog a lot.
nice
Yeah, I like
high,
the Chem Dog.
nice
Yeah.
everything.
I loved my
So-
Chem
give
Dog's my
credit
favorite for
too,
butter.
and they did. I had a problem. I was in line one day, and I said, "You don't have any Gorilla Glue? When's that coming back?" And he said to me, "Oh, well, it's going to be like a week, the first week of June." I said, "All right, well, I'll just buy some ready to roll crap." I bought it that night. It comes up online saying, "Oh,
Oh,
Gorilla
back
Glue is going to be back."
tomorrow. You're like,
So I
son of a
made a
bitch.
little comment when I went in the next day. George actually gave me Gorilla Glue. He gave me a quarter for $40 because he made a mistake of telling me. He's like, "I'm you
Okay.
know,
So we hooked you up.
yeah." He tried to help.
All right,
me.
so he tried to help
He
you.
does try to help.
He tried on the other
Good.
side.
I will
so-
say that for them.
Okay.
If there was ever a problem I had, they usually tried to straighten it out.
Well, and like
I've had issues there. They've never been straightened out.
No, one
But,
time
you
I
know,
got
I'm not on there
lozenges.
bitching and screaming at them online all the time.
No,
I never.
I
Never
go
made a
directly
comment
to 'em
online.
and say nice thing.
No.
Talk to them. And
Well,
it's always taken care of for me.
I kiss his ass, as you know, in front of his
No,
face
stop
at
it.
least.
Yeah, I'm
Not
not
behind his
kissing
back,
nobody's ass, but,
but- Well, one time I picked up lozenges and I opened them up, and right away, like like over time of taking meds and whatnot, you can like look at a bottle and tell if it's off. Like you get that good over time. And I opened it up, and immediately I knew it was short. And after counting it a couple times, I'm like, this is over 10 short. It was
Wow.
there was over 10 short
On
That's
lozenges?
bad.
on lozenges.
Well, the lozenges
yeah.
are in
Or
a,
on the micros.
they're selling the
So,
lozenges in
the
a Ziploc
minis.
now.
I haven't
So-
tried them yet.
Oh, really?
The lozenges
I
are in
like
a
them.
Ziploc
Yeah, they're
now.
I
good.
like them. Yeah, I do. For like if you need something quick in the middle of the day, like it is quick. It's fast. Like I do like it gives you a nice like it takes the edge off, and so you can get to what you need.
Call that
You
a
know,
nooner
so if
where I'm
you're-
from.
Exactly. Like that's exactly what it is. You know, it's a quickie. It's really just to get you through to if you're within like an hour to maybe 2 hours of being able to get the relief that you need, like it's definitely something to be able to have like in your back pocket. Like I mean, but other than that, you know,
They shorted you
I
10.
mean,
Are
but
you
yeah,
sure?
they shorted me 10. Yeah.
All
So
right, hold on
I
a
caught
second
up
here.
anyway.
How
I
many
called-
hands do I have up?
One hand.
There you go. Okay, so you're good at counting. All right, I'm just making
Exactly.
sure.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Well,
Well, and that's on weed.
you can now count your lozenges
weed,
because
right.
they come in the pouch now,
Oh yeah.
the clear pouch.
Oh well, they haven't had them recently.
Yeah.
So
They made 'em
they've
travel
been-
friendly?
They've been without them. So
Yeah.
well anyway, I'll be happy when I get home. So
I'm not a major fan of the edibles. The lozenges are
yeah,
nice. They're
but-
nice 'cause
yeah,
they
well-
last a while. For me, it lasts like 4 or 5 hours.
yeah,
And
and
I'm good,
like,
but
I know people that
I can make
they,
my own edibles
they
cheaper.
they get the big lozenges
Right.
like and they put them in their coffee. Or whatever they drink all day, and so that they have it all day. So it's like an all day. It's like the same thing you would do with a tincture, but it works for them. So I mean, hey, whatever works for you. Like
Exactly.
you know, the microdosing works for me better than the lozenges did. Like so, but yeah, I like a CBD tincture in my coffee. I like that. So
Yeah.
now I like the one that I got at your
Oh, no.
store, the 1,000 milligram.
You like that?
So, oh my
Diabetes,
god, like
man.
The Organobus, it
man,
works.
I mean, like really, like got in the car and I was like, wow, like it was definitely like we were like, do we need to go back in and get more? So like it was seriously like that. But we were on our way to Egg Harbor, so because they had like everything on the list that day
Right.
and everything was in like shake, and I'm going down there if I'm not going down for their shake because I'm not paying their bud prices.
Right.
Because their bud prices are crazy. And if
Well,
I'm
they
gonna
lowered
get
they lowered them recently down to
what? 'Cause they were 121.
115 a quarter regular price.
nice from 121, so they lowered it $6.
Well, it's
Big
better
deal.
than nothing.
Oh, and they lowered the discount from 20% down to 10. So I'm sorry, I'm not driving 45 minutes.
Ugh.
I'm just not. Like I mean, Belmar sucks. So does Egg Harbor. When it comes to
You know, it'd be nice
quality,
if
as
they had like
opposed to
online ordering where you could just go online in your account. Okay, I'll take a quarter of this. I'll take a quarter of that. Give me a ready to roll.
Right, and
And I'm just gonna stop in and
right.
pick it up and be done with it.
How
Like
about
you
this?
can call and
How
ask
about
them to
they
hold
come
it
to you?
aside, but
Or delivery.
well,
Like-
I
like
mean,
in
but-
California.
or Alaska.
You know?
They're not going to allow that to happen.
Come on, Alaska.
Come on.
That you know.
But hold. Why would they not
Oh
allow
no,
that?
they don't come to you. in
Why would they not
Alaska. They go
allow
to
that in New Jersey?
For the
other
same reason why
places.
it's not here.
Correct that.
But hold on a second here. In New Jersey, there's only 5, maybe 6 soon, dispensaries up
Right.
and running.
Right.
Now,
exactly.
if you're bedridden and you're in
yeah,
the,
and I've been
you're
in
in
this
this
position. I've
program,
been totally
and
out.
you can't make it
Then you
to
have
a
to-
dispensary.
Then you have to pay a
But-
caregiver to go get your
Well,
See,
meds.
that's
but
bullshit.
I agree
before-
with you.
That's
Before
bullshit.
my
Well-
husband had his car.
All right, cut her
do
mic
you
off.
know
Welcome
how
to
many
the state of
times
New
I got
Jersey.
screwed in that situation before he had his card. Because you know it was just me in the house that had the card. He didn't have his yet because vets couldn't get a card at the time. And until vets could get their card, I was like literally I had to make sure that at all times I had
It fell
shit
on you.
because
It fell on
did,
you. Exactly.
Because if I didn't, then you know
And you had to waste your time, go freaking 45 minutes there, wait about a half hour.
But no,
Go
I never
45
ever
minutes, but-
see that was a good thing at Egg Harbor. I never had to wait. Like
Oh,
I mean,
that's because no one
the
goes to Egg
second that I
Harbor. You're
would
the
get
person
there-
that goes to Egg Harbor? You
You
and
know
like
what,
2
let me
other
tell
new
you
people.
something.
I've
me
gone
tell
to
you
Egg Harbor.
something.
I've gone to Egg Harbor once,
Recently,
and I was
their-
impressed.
Recently,
Really?
their
I was.
quality has gotten a
She said the same
lot,
shit.
lot better. Like,
yeah,
it really has changed.
I stayed
I'm
away-
not happy with their prices. I hate their prices, and I don't
We
like the
gotta
fact
switch
that they
seats.
lowered the discount. Like their discount went from 20% to 10%. Their prices they changed from 121 a quarter
Whatever,
to
it's cheaper.
116 a quarter.
It's cheaper.
So I'm sorry, but that's not that much.
The weed's
cheaper.
getting better. The
It's
medicine's
starting.
getting better.
It's not cheap enough for me to go
It's-
back driving down.
right,
Ann
no,
Arbor. Like it's not cheap enough for the gas that I have to put in one
I
of my
agree.
cars.
I agree.
Like I've got two 350 engines. Like I mean, like I don't have a cheap vehicle. So
Uber.
for me, it's not.
Uber.
Even Uber's not even cheaper than going and
Jesus
putting gas
Christ.
in one
So
of
we
my
should start
cars, you know?
and
And then at least I can like pop the tops off and at least join the weather on the way down.
we
you know?
could we could start a medical Uber delivery service and call it Moober.
Yes.
Love it.
Gonna have to do
We
something.
need to and we have like all drivers who we don't drug test in advance. Like, I mean, like, come on, man. Like, we got it. Like, they're bitching about like Social Security. And did you see the thing I posted? Now that's 3 years ago that the government was a couple $2 billion in debt to Social Security. Can you imagine what it is today? Like, what the deficit is today? How much is government in debt to Social Security? And how many people are on Social Security like me who could get jobs, who are capable because I'm physically disabled, but mentally there's nothing wrong with me. And I'm already registered with the IRS anyway. So literally the only thing keeping me from getting a job there is the fact that I smoke weed. That's the only thing stopping me.
That's one of the laws. Well, it's one of the bills in New Jersey that hopefully they pass.
Yeah, but
Which one?
It won't help me for like working for
Is that
the IRS
is
because
that
it's a
Carol? Or
federal
the state?
job. So
Yeah, for working for the state. I don't
yeah,
know.
It won't help you.
I don't know. There's
because it doesn't override federal.
Give him a mic. Give him
Yeah.
that mic, please. Terry, come here. I got to talk to you. Terrence, what do you got to say?
What's up?
Let's
I'm gonna
go.
take my glasses
I'm
off so
talking
you
about-
can see my eyes. All right.
My,
I'm gonna see my
my
eyes.
morning glories in the alleyways of Trenton. My morning glory seeds are the most potent psilocybin that exists in the world today.
Psilocybin.
Just like my dandelion wine is the strongest. Pearl Jam sucks, man. Next to mine. My Pearl Jam.
You got Pearl Jam. You got the Pearl
I
Jam.
got baby blue.
Oh,
Pearl
thank
Jam.
Baby Blue.
Ooh.
She's got yellow. It gets you high if you eat a fucking ounce of it.
Does anyone
My
know
shit,
what
all
he's
you
talking
need is
about?
a taste.
Karen?
No.
You were tripping for a month.
Not yet. No,
Oh my!
no.
I thought you were.
month?
Hold on. Didn't
Permanent smile. They call him
Terrence-
Smiley forever, and all he took was one hit.
Terrence?
Yeah, I'm
wasn't
talking
he a
about
drug
morning
free guy
glories,
2
dude.
weeks ago?
I can't do it yet.
Morning glories. My fresh morning glory seeds out of the alleyways that are right around here are the most potent in the world.
Yo, stay away from the joint. That's Weed Man's. All right, don't touch his what boysenberries.
No, it's called morning glory.
Oh yeah, them too.
Okay.
His poison berries.
No, boysen. It's with a B. A B.
Oh,
Boysen.
poison.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, he's trying to be
Very nutty.
Rastafarian.
very.
Let me
nutty.
tell you something. He's trying to be a Rastafarian.
Uh-oh.
His Rastafarian festivals are pathetic.
Uh-oh.
He's never
Hidden
had a-
behind mirrors.
He's never had a
He never-
Rastafarian.
Yeah,
What are you talking
what's
about?
happening
I'm
right now?
talking about the Lamb's Breath Festival.
Lamb's
I'm
breath.
out. I'm across the street smoking my pipes. Of course I am.
What kind of pipe you smoking?
Crack.
What?
Crack
Yeah,
kills.
right.
Broken.
Crack kills.
We saw your pipe.
Crack.
Broken
Kills.
It was
I smoke oil.
Yeah. What kind of oil?
Gasoline.
Nicotine.
coquina.
Sometimes I'll smoke coca leaves, but I grow them.
Coca leaves.
You don't even know what a coca plant looks
Can we
like.
grow that in
Yes.
Jersey?
It's
You're
blue.
allowed.
Actually, you can.
You're allowed?
Legally, you can. You can.
Why
grow
not?
coca
I'm a
plants.
shaman priest since 1990. I can grow
You-
salvia. I
You
grow
can
it.
grow coca
Oh,
plants.
I want to
the
go to
show.
your church.
I
Where's
mean,
your
no,
church?
you're not. You're
Stop
not
the
allowed.
show.
You're not allowed
At
to
the
make
moment, it's
cocaine,
right here.
but you can grow the
Stop
plant.
Stop the
Church is
show.
right here.
You're a shaman priest?
We're in
Shaman
it.
priest since 1990, Divine Word Seminary, Bordentown, and the Aquinas Institute at 206 Library Place. I've been handling legality and spirituality in 77. I started there first.
Oh.
Normal National Organization for Reforming Marijuana Laws. When? 82?
73.
No.
No?
I've been with him since 82.
Oh, okay. 71. That's my birth year.
I had bud of the month, and everyone knows I grew to 375 pounds of purple grade A skunk marijuana.
That's right. Behind the cop shop.
That's right.
I was there. That's
through
right.
Through the ice storm. That was my purple skunk cabbage pop.
Yeah. That was beautiful. That shit really fucked me up back then.
It was $30 a gram. That's what the newspaper said when it went to Oregon Infirmary and came back to me. Of course, I'm selling it for 30.
You're on the air.
Why wouldn't I?
No.
I bought the Lennox. That Miss Reagan cried because Lennox wouldn't give her the Lennox.
Miss or Mrs.?
Mrs.
Mrs.
And Miss depends on whatever.
Terrence with the fucking shirt button
Get-
down today. Got the jacket
Sweating my
on.
ass off. You guys eating them sandwiches or feeding the birds?
Are you throwing your voice?
No, we're. Are you only if you like Trump? Do you like Trump?
Of course I do.
Oh, okay, fine. We'll give you one anyway. Come on over. If you want something to eat, Terrence, get something, bro. You get whatever the fuck you want.
Pick one for me.
Pick one.
Are they all the same?
No, they're different, man. Some are chicken, some are turkey.
Tony, you got something to say?
Some are chicken salad.
I heard you were summoning a shaman priest, so I called.
Oh, you're a shaman.
You got him.
Here he is. Tony wants to talk to you. Can you hear Tony? Can you hear him? Yeah. Tony, here, grab the mic.
Morning Glory is LSA, not psilocybin.
Morning Glory is LSA, not psilocybin, he says.
Phil who?
Psilocybin?
Phil on the siding?
It's all natural psilocybin.
Natural.
Natural.
It's a natural
Not
LSD,
psilocybin,
but
it's
it's not
LSA.
LSD. That's a synthetic form.
It's
LSA, he says.
What's
Whatever that
What's
is.
They all look
LSD?
so good. Let me just-
Morning Glory seeds are lysergic acid amide. It's one molecule off of LSD.
They took the piss out of y'all.
Hence
Okay.
LSA.
Yes, LSA.
How do you know
I just
this?
wanted to clear that up.
How do you know this, Tony?
How do I know?
Oh, that's not right. That's not right. He called. He did his shaman.
I think people
Call.
learn their lesson already.
And you
They
just
don't
hung up-
learn.
Oh man.
I'm going. I'm sorry. I get your mic off. I'm going to Shaman Hill.
He only does that to people that he doesn't love. Apparently, he doesn't love me enough, so I must not have sucked it the right way or something.
What?
Oh.
Whoa!
Oh.
Stop the show. What did you say?
Well, you hang up on me.
Oh, you
so,
smoke
but,
weed now, huh?
No, you didn't hang up on Joanne. So
Oh, you can taste it all you want. Go ahead, enjoy.
I'll hang up on anybody. You watch me.
Only losers inhale it.
Oh wow! What?
I just wasn't feeling the love.
No, you got the love.
I know.
He inhaled. He inhaled.
I know.
He
I
inhaled
know
I
it.
blew
all
it
the
through my
time.
nose. That was not an inhale.
What
I
the?
want to taste it. I want to feel it.
Okay, Bill.
Yeah, Bill Clinton there.
That's what I.
Tastes like
My sense of million is
1974.
worth way more than
Is she gonna keep the blue dress?
Cents a million.
What's your thing say? I am not a bitch. I am the bitch.
That's my girl's keys, not mine.
Okay. Just asking. I'm just making a comment. I like it.
That's balls. That's balls, Terrence. I am not a bitch. I am the bitch. And it's his girls.
And it's interesting that it's right next to his.
I think he likes how it's tasting.
Yeah, you want people to direct their eyesight down to your crotch.
Yeah.
I see that now.
Yes. What do you rate that? What do you rate that hydroponic
that's what
shit?
It seemed like, huh?
Bueller?
Bueller? Terry,
Hey.
talk into that mic. I can't hear you.
He's busy.
He's too busy getting high.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
No,
Let
he's
him
not
be.
getting high. He's tasting.
Well, yes, medicating.
It works.
It works.
Do you feel medicated, bro?
Do you feel medicated?
Did I cough?
No, because it's the cough to get you off, right?
That's when you know you're high.
See?
I don't buy into
When you
that.
cough your
Oh,
brains
no,
out,
it's-
then you're fucking
Yeah.
throwing up and fucking spinning around like a fucking.
I like to cough, like,
Ooh,
and
health
recently
department.
I've been able to cough again, and it's nice. It's nice that I've been able to cough again.
Anybody?
All right.
Health
Bueller?
department.
Bueller?
Oh, I'll take you. Okay.
Well, that was fun.
Yes.
Aw.
All right. Where were we?
I hope my parole officer.
We were.
Right
we-
there.
I'm going to tell you where we were. We were
Don't say
derailed.
that.
We're all
Early. Again.
Go, Terry. Go. Take over. Ready? Go.
I have no warrants.
Yet.
Uh-oh, he's coughing.
No, I got a doctor's note.
He's coughing. I think he got it all. The cough got him off.
No,
Uh,
the tomato went down the wrong way.
Oh, okay.
That's
Wow.
what he says.
Eddie sandwich was phenomenal.
Hey, only the best for the best.
Old
They are
World
the
Market,
best.
That's right.
Randolph, New Jersey, is a spot to stop.
Man, fucking click this,
1204
click this.
Sussex
Keep
Turnpike.
on
Give him the
going.
phone number. Give him the phone number.
What's the phone number?
It's a 973-895-6100.
Bam.
There it is.
Bam.
My eyes work
Wait,
perfect.
I so want my kid to do
From
like a
this distance.
commercial for you. Like I'd even let him do it for free.
But I got Terrence. I mean, no offense.
Sorry.
Yeah, but he's
got
a
Terrence.
cute 8-year-old,
Terrence.
curly hair
Terrence,
and glasses,
T-E-R-E-N-C-E.
and he was in a 50th
Terrence.
Super Bowl commercial.
I'm not going to correct the
so-
black chick, but I'll always have to correct the black white.
You what?
people.
What?
Wait,
Wait, what?
There is no. Never mind.
what's happening?
Hey,
I
we're
don't know.
all born and raised poor black children. My name is Terrence Clark, not Terrence or Torrance or Tawi. Terrence Clark.
Terrence.
Terrence Michael Clark Sr. And my son's the Ocean's 11 gang leader who went down for being my son. Let's say yes.
Yes.
980,000 was his bail. Yes.
Yes.
All his pathetic scumbag pimping friends
Yes.
went home. He went to jail. We went to jail. They went home on probation
Yes.
Yes.
for all the mediocre whack job crimes that the cops tried pinning on me. My son took that heat. Happy
Yes.
Father's Day to me. He's in prison.
Happy what?
Yes,
Happy
he's alive.
Now that's
Happy
love.
Father's
Yes,
Day
he's
this
alive in
weekend.
prison.
That's
He
love.
wouldn't have made it through 2013, 14, 15, or 16, or probably 17, or up until last week. I'm
Yes,
still alive
Yes. Yes. Where's my camera?
Hey, is that a
at the
Kabasi?
State House. Still doing well.
How many more? How many more years?
Yoga with.
How many more years?
He
he's
was a
got?
bartender. He's a cigar smoker. He don't like pop.
Take a picture.
How many years does he have in the house?
You can
in the
smoke
big
cigars
house?
in jail.
You know. You can, but I can. Okay.
Yeah.
I smoke whatever I want, wherever I want.
I'm hashtagging it that.
Who's going to stop me from smoking in jail?
Yep.
CO.
It's the
COs
COs
in
who
jail.
give me the
Did you
shit.
get the info
I don't
that I
know.
sent
It's
you
not all
about
kitchen
the,
workers, let
the
me tell you.
Jefferson
Hold on.
study?
Odor.
Miss
Yeah.
Moriel went
Hold
down
on.
for what? A bag of a bag of Newport. Miss Moriel went down for a bag of Newport and a bag of Bugler. Lost her career. Let's not debate that. Where did I get my scumbag ways that I never had before? Because of my son. She hit the nail right on the head. I laughed and laughed. Yeah, I'm a scumbag now.
A
I think it
lovable
must be the
scumbag.
Eminem influence. My
Eminem.
son wants to be like Eminem, so I went back into the alleyways with Eminem. And then he went to his mansion in Trailer Park. I didn't. I was born in these alleyways.
You are Trenton.
But
I
you're not
am
a
born and
scumbag. You're
raised.
not a scumbag. You're not.
You can ask the Pagans or the Breed or anyone else. I'm still Trenton Thunder. And I
That's
smoke
what you
White
are.
Lightning.
That's what you are.
and
The
I
Trenton
drink
Thunder.
more than Moonshine. That's serious moonlight.
That's a song.
You know, David Bowie.
Yes.
Let's dance.
Yes.
Put on your red shoes. Let's.
Sing the blues.
Hey, let's dance.
Wow. This guy does it all. No,
Under
night.
the moonlight. That's serious.
Serious moonlight.
Calabata pizza.
Wow. I'm kind of like scared right now. I feel like I got to go home and wash myself.
Go ahead, Tony. He's walking away.
I
Tell him.
got
Tell him.
Oh, you're too late now. You hung up on me. That's what you get.
I
You
would,
lose
never,
the
Tony,
bet.
I would never hang up on you, Tony.
You got hacked.
Yeah. Oh, he just hung up on you. But you hung up on him.
I got him again.
Okay.
It's on. He got me that one time really
I mean,
good,
this
and
guy.
I'll never forget that. I was butthurt very badly from that.
He gets you all the time. What are you talking about?
No, not lately.
Dude, I have gotten you on a couple of occasions. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Ew. Oh, you want some
that's
alcohol?
right. I only wipe my dirty hands on my shirt. It's cool.
Oh.
Oh,
You want some alcohol wipes for that now or something?
yeah.
Morning call.
Nah, it's all right.
Okay.
Terrence is my boy, man. He's all right.
I love Terrence.
Yeah.
Terrence.
He's got a unique
Terrence, get it
perspective.
right. It's not
Terrence.
Terrence.
Oh, that's right.
It's not Terry. It's Terrence.
Terrence. No, he likes to be
Is
called
that
Terry.
better?
No, he
Call him
doesn't.
Terry.
He might flip out. You call him Terry, man.
Right. Well, I mean,
Step
My
by
mom called me
step,
Terry.
Closer and closer. I
After she
crept.
chopped my hand off.
Oh, man.
Oh, something's wrong with that. Uh-huh. That's Trenton's finest.
He's been touched by God.
Oh, he's been touched all right.
I want to know where these morning glories
He's a
are.
bit Ted.
They're in Trenton. I've heard of that.
It's like a myth.
No, it's not a myth. It's check out the joint. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Check out the joint in that area.
What I want to know is when we're going to do an INE at Spots. Oop.
Wow.
All right, he's gonna hang up on me now. All right, Tony.
Caller, you're on the air.
You can hang up on me if you want. Go ahead. Thank you.
Nice.
I knew that was coming.
Okay. Thank you.
Everyone loves Tony. Hang
got
up
it out
on
of
him
your system.
immediately.
You got it out of
He
your
loves
system,
that
Tony?
shit.
You all right now? You feel better? Huh?
Tony, you feel better now?
Yeah.
You got it out of your system?
We
Okay.
do.
Now go smoke a joint, and everything will be fine. Jesus.
Before I was so rudely interrupted by Mr. Tony Liberté.
Happy Pride, everybody.
Oh, indeed. But I really want to go back to Spotswood and INE them. We need to do the death waltz for my neighbor, man. Danny Spots.
He's on the list.
Right
He's on
after
the
they
list.
passed an ordinance that forbade anyone from selling any kind of cannabis, albeit adult, recreational, or medical. A very short amount of time later, our neighbor across from us died from a heroin overdose, and it is exactly verbatim what we warned them what would happen in town. So I'd really like to go back.
They got it coming.
Yeah, they do.
In spades. I feel like dressing as the Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper.
I would do it in a second. You know I would.
He even has a hoagie.
Give me
in
a
his
sickle of
hand.
death. Let's go to
But he would say
Spotswood.
sub for you.
I'm down.
Yeah.
For that, actually.
Let's go. I'm really. It's a town I live in.
I'm down for this
Very
Scartucci
upset
smokeout.
with their decision and a
Yes.
direct
I'm down
impact
for
on my
that.
family.
Like I'm totally down for this Scartucci smokeout. Like
Scutari.
ugh.
no.
Scartucci. I like Scartucci, though.
Scartucci. It's been 35 years since the movie Scartucci.
Yeah, you can
came out.
adopt that name for the screenplay.
I'll
Want to
blame-
meet my little
I'll
friend?
blame it on my
Scartucci.
teeth. I'll blame it on my teeth. I can't speak today. After tomorrow, I'll be
Say
able to
hey,
talk
hey.
again.
They're trying to kill me.
So,
I got
and
diabetes.
then next week, I'm
I got
bringing my
diabetes. They're
girlfriend.
trying to kill me.
Hey, what's
Hold
up,
on.
my brother?
Hey, man. How are you, dude? Good to see you. Grab that mic.
Nah, he's coming. He's coming
that mic.
soon.
I said, hey, what's happening, y'all?
go.
This
Give
is
me a
the
beat.
world, trying to
Give me a
make the
beat, man.
world take. I said, a one for the Monday, two for the weed. We didn't get the Hyundai, we got the weed to go. Whoa. We don't sell no weed, we just get smoked down. Cause the weed is medications for those who doubt. I said a one for the Monday. Come on now, two for the show. Smoke the weed, cause here we go.
Yeah.
Woo!
Nice.
Right on.
Nice.
Some freestyle
There
right
it
here
is.
in
There it
downtown
is.
Trenton.
There
Right
it is.
on.
Trenton's finest. Trenton's
Yeah.
own talent. I tell you, they don't mess around here in Trenton. Oof. Lord of mercy.
At least you hooked him up
Not
with
yet.
a nice beat.
I thought he was gonna stick it in.
He's out, but he ain't here yet.
You got a wipe?
You got a wife. You eat it.
Hey,
Hey, is that a joint in your mouth? Yeah, it is. I like that. Yeah.
No, it was a mic.
No, that's not. Oh,
are you Haitian?
Mike who?
no, he's not Haitian.
Are you Haitian?
Nah, man. He's from the Zulu Nation.
There's probably another small one in there.
I took like a huge
That one, no, there's probably a big one there. They got a few Haitians there.
I took a
Are you
huge one
Haitian?
'cause
Oh,
I
man, if you're
figured
Haitian,
that
that's perfect.
way.
He ain't no
Man.
Haitian.
You could take that one. You could take that one.
Wear
It
that in
says,
pride.
Don't
Yeah.
shoot. I'm Haitian.
It does. It says, "Don't shoot. I'm Haitian."
You need the don't shoot. I'm white one.
That's
That's
I
what
was
you
gonna
need, brother.
say. That was the one.
That way the
he-
cops, don't give you no crap.
Right?
That one's on me, man.
That's the one
Thank
I
you.
wear. Don't
He's
shoot
one of
on
them
white.
olive skin whites.
Don't shoot, I'm running away. No, I'm
There it is. Give me. I mean, hold on. I gotta get a picture of this.
Yes,
Oh, hold on. You
exactly.
gotta
Don't
pose.
shoot
Strike
on
a pose, my
crawling.
man.
Don't shoot on
Right on.
crawling.
Wu-Tang in
Right
there.
on.
There you go.
Wu-Tang in the
Don't-
house.
Don't run with it.
How you doing, Cindy?
Oh boy, where do we find them? They come to us.
I saw
They
that.
come from Curaleaf, I
They
think.
come to
and then
us.
I
They've been
saw
poisoned by
the-
Curaleaf.
the,
No boy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sweet.
I saw the whatchamacallit?
That is
The,
fucking rad.
Yeah.
What was it? The seeds.
Sweet. Thanks, man. What's your name again? Omar.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Omar.
Omar. See you around.
Yo, we drive Harleys around this.
Give him that mic.
I drive a Harley.
I know that.
I got an
Give him that mic. Give him that.
Hello, everybody. Oh wow. Hey, we need more crowds than this. We need people to represent us. Yo, we weed smokers. Know what I mean? See what I'm saying?
Patience
The building are closed down or some shit because they know we was on weed smokers.
Yeah.
But baby,
Someone's
nah, when we
chirping.
mean weed smokers, this is illegal weed. We got yo, where the mic at? It ain't rocking. Let me see the mic. Turn it up a little.
You're on it, baby.
Yeah,
You're on
it's
it.
on. Yo, we got illegal reefer. Know what I mean? We ain't got no weed that you can know. We ain't got no trap houses or none of that. Know what I mean? We smoke out in
Traponomics.
That's right. We smoke in the right outside.
Can you rap?
Huh?
Can you rap?
I said again.
Drop
Go for
a
it.
dead lick.
Reminds me of the hot dog guy.
Yo. I said you go downtown where you see them late tees and all they wear is a little cloth. You pull the strings and it comes off and you say to yourself, good God. You go downtown where you see them late tees and all they wear is a little cloth. You pull the strings and it comes off and you say to yourself, good God.
A good
At the age of
God.
1, I pull a gun. I shoot motherfuckers just for fun. The age of 2, I wasn't doing it too. The age of 3, I caught VD. Fucking this girl so viciously.
Oh my God. Whoa, hey, whoa.
This is only an X-rated.
Age of 6, you talking about rap, nigga, I'm rock and roll. I said, nah.
Good God.
All I want to do is my zoom, zoom, zoom.
All I want to do is zoom, 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 zoom.
Trick, baby. Trick, baby. Nah. All I want to do is my zoom, zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom.
And your boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Go back to my room and do a little boom,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah. Somebody's won. Have a great day. I tell you, Omar, you're a crazy bastard, but we love you.
Come to the
We love
podcast,
you,
win a
baby.
prize.
Thursdays, you know where we are. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Give him that mic.
Yo, the oldest DJ in charge. The oldest DJ in charge.
Oh, yeah.
He's small, but he's large. That's right, the old DJ in charge.
Big things come in small packages, goddamn.
That's what Lefty says all the time. No shit.
Ah.
Oh, sorry, Lefty. Shouldn't have gone there. Are we going to talk about cannabis? Are we going to talk about bills? Or what are we going to talk about, man?
We're going to talk about what Eric was telling me about the changes that are happening right now, especially that seriously.
Excuse me, we got the broadcaster talking now, so everybody give the lady respect. Take on, baby.
Amen. That was a great transition.
Oh, yeah, P.
I think
Diddy.
that-
You go, P. Diddy.
Well, thank you, love. I think the most important thing that we have to talk about today
I see
is
nipples.
one of the things that Eric was telling me about on the way up here. You'll see nipples next week.
I see him now.
Well,
You kidding me?
Peg will be here with me next week. She'll be here. She's coming. So they're go-go dancers. They're not strippers.
I do remember
Whoa.
talking about this on the way up.
Yeah,
but
we
it
were
does seem
talking about
rather important.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They are go-go dancers. They are not strippers.
What's the difference?
The difference
go-go.
is that
They don't stop.
Well, strippers are
Strippers just take their clothes off. They don't
yeah,
dance.
exactly. They don't
Go-go
really-
girls, they're dancers.
right. They're
They have
dancers. They have
skill
skills. They can
I
do
mean,
things.
pole skills.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, here come the children.
Yes,
No more
sir.
go-go talk.
Oh, they got to learn about,
Yes.
the
No,
poles and
no,
the
no, 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 no.
Not
no.
yet.
Cannabis.
Not for
Cannabis.
me.
It's
Not
It's too
yet.
young, but I
But
mean,
give it back to Omar.
The most
Uh-oh.
important thing as far as cannabis wise goes, the bill changes right now that are going to really affect the vapor industry. I mean,
The vapor
that's
industry.
Yeah, they're killing us.
Big deal. Like, I mean, it's almost like they're going to triple tax them if this goes through, and it's scary. I mean, it's scary. I mean, honestly, I mean, had I been a regular cigarette smoker, like I smoked cigarettes every once in a while, But like, yeah, I mean, a pack lasts me almost 3 weeks. So I mean, I'm not a big
You're not a
smoker.
hardcore smoker.
But if I was a pack a day smoker, or if I was a vapor, honestly, with this tax coming in, you're damn straight.
Yeah.
I would go back to smoking cigarettes.
So here's what
because
they're proposing.
cheaper at this point in time.
You ready for
and
this
you're
one?
still looking at $10 a pack.
Here's our
which is
wonderful
what made
state
me
for you.
quit.
They're introducing a tax at 10 cents per milliliter of e-liquid that you purchase.
Yeah.
So a 100 ml bottle of e-liquid will have a $10 tax on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's that one.
Hold
and then
on, say
there's
that
a
again, say that
75.
again.
So they're proposing
So people understand. I want them.
a 10
There's like a
cent.
bunch of different things happening all
right,
at
so
once
check it
right
out.
now.
You say have a bottle.
I think there's like three
cool, 'cause
different.
this will show them.
There's like
This will actually
three
understand
different bills
what
right
they're
now
paying.
that are really
Extra-
going to
Cut it, Mike.
affect.
Cut it, Mike. Cut it, Mike.
One at a time. One at a time.
All right. So this bottle right here is 60 milliliters.
It's 60 milliliters.
So they want to charge 10 cents per milliliter.
I'm going, man.
Peace, brother.
Thanks,
Peace
Omar.
out, man.
Omar's
All
out.
right.
Bring the whole hood down this motherfucker.
No, don't bring the hood here, bro.
No.
I'll get scared, man. Come on, we're all honkies.
Wow.
Wow, that's shocking.
Sorry.
Very shocking.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yeah, he touched me like 5
you
times just
doing?
now. I got to go shower.
So get back to where we were. You had
All
that
right.
bottle. I'm
so
sorry.
check it out. So this is 60 ml bottle. They're proposing 10 cents per milliliter. So they're going to add $6 to the cost of this bottle.
Okay. So hey, how you doing, man?
What's going on? How's everybody doing?
Good, good. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Well, honestly, I just got married. You know,
Congratulations.
Very happy about that.
Like right now, like where's the wife at? We can only see you.
Right there, with the red
Really?
hair.
Ah,
You
there
just
you
got
are.
She's
married.
running.
Just now.
They literally
Really?
just got married.
Yeah.
Wow.
Congratulations.
That's amazing.
Good on the podcast.
Wow.
Congrats. Mazel tov.
First.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
But like I was saying, you know, everybody that knows me calls me Spider-Man. That's who I am. That's my handle. I'm Spider-Man. How's it going? I wanted to say, like I said when I got here, everything that's going on right here, right now, is on point. I agree with everything you guys are saying. Everything.
Thank you.
Everything. I'm glad you guys are out here doing this.
Hey, thank you.
For years.
You got your medical marijuana card yet?
Nope, not yet.
Do you want one?
You need to get it.
Yeah, get one.
Any doctor can
Let's
get
go.
it to you now.
Yeah.
Any doctor. It's
Anxiety.
5 minutes. but-
You just got married. You
Like-
got
Yeah,
anxiety.
you got anxiety already.
I'm telling you, man. No offense. No offense. I love you.
It's coming if it's not there.
It is what it is. My anxiety cracked up Botox.
Right.
So, yep, there you go. Anxiety.
He has to get a 2-year addiction course.
Right.
Most
All right,
doctors-
someone's
you
gotta
talk-
call
Cindy,
They don't
Mike.
even have
Someone's gotta
Cindy. They
call
don't
Mike.
have to do. They don't have to take the course anymore. They
Cindy,
can
you-
actually click a little thing that says no.
We said this last week.
You know, them doing that. Just no. You said it on your private
No, we
cast.
did.
We didn't say it.
I mean, you got it.
You
All
know,
right, keep doing it.
and
good to
they
hear.
so now
That's great
they
to
can
hear.
actually go through the process, and it literally takes them 5 minutes. You can go right on the NJMMP website. It's free. It doesn't cost a dime, and they can click the button that says no to training, and they can
Wow.
bypass that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So literally, they can be like, you can stand there and walk them through it and be
Any
done.
doctor.
Like my
Any doctor
age,
Any
can.
doctor.
You're a primary physician.
Yeah, go to your doctor.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Any
There you go. I
doctor. Like,
appreciate that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know if you don't talk to somebody that knows.
That's
you know?
right.
And we learn new things all the time.
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly,
because we
exactly.
originally thought that any doctor that wasn't a pain management doctor had to go through the class. And now we just found out that that's not the case, that they can bypass it by just clicking the little button. So it really is as easy as that. Yeah. Yeah, that was just like a little, I guess, one of those legal loopholes. One of those legal loops. Yeah, it did. It did. It did. Apparently, it wasn't in the original. The original said that, and apparently, the original said that even patients had to take that class because my sister-in-law is taking it. My sister-in-law is taking the class right now. I was like, what marijuana class are you? What are you talking about?
Nice.
And she has to take this class before she can get her card. And it's because her doctor isn't
Wait.
a regular MMP doctor. He's a regular doctor. So when he originally signed up, when it originally changed, you did have to take the class, but so did the patients. I guess that was by choice. I mean, he chose for his patients to take the course. That's why she's stuck in it. Because I was like, what class? Like, I thought she was crazy. And she's like, no,
I've never heard of that.
Go. Yeah, she's got to go to some like medicine management class that like teaches her. But I mean, maybe it's different for somebody who's gone through like a methadone clinic.
I
type of
managed to
thing.
get my medicine.
Thank you.
Every 2 hours.
Hold on. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah, right?
What's your name again?
I managed to roll my joint.
Hold on. Spider-Man. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Thanks for come by anytime, any Thursday. We're here, always here. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's cool.
Spider-Man.
Happy
Happy Flag Day, Cindy.
Cool.
Happy Flag Day, Cindy. I see you in those amazing pants. I know we're not supposed to wear the American flag as clothing, but I mean, there is one day that there's that it's allowable, right?
Jay Lassiter in the house. Hey, Jay, you want to grab a mic over here? Grab this black one here. There you go.
Yeah, there's not enough gay
Hi,
people
Jay.
on your podcast.
Happy
so
Pride
here I
Day.
am.
I'm happy, joyous, and free.
Jay, you're connected to my son, Austin Michael Modeling,
Oh, right
on Facebook, and he just shouted out to Happy Pride this morning.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely, you guys deserve the respect.
Indeed.
Big time, man.
I know. For all
Big
the cocks I've
time.
taken up my ass, I deserve some respect.
Hey,
Can we talk like that on this podcast?
We can now.
I'm actually
We can.
I'm actually a top. I was just going for the line. Oh hey.
Oh, my friend, he's so like I feel so bad for my friend right now because his partner is shipped over overseas right now.
Oh, that sucks.
And he's without him. Like, hopefully.
But the good news is gay people can serve in the military with honor and distinction,
right?
just like
Absolutely.
the rest of y'all.
Absolutely.
Right on.
So he's out, and,
Right
and
on.
he's proud to be out.
Not for
and,
me,
like,
but there's plenty of honestly. My father, who is a Trump voter, he's like, "Don't you want a bunch of tough dykes in the military?" And I'm like, "Yes, Dad. You definitely want a bunch of tough lesbians in the military." Can you
Sure.
imagine? Oh,
Right.
I've got a joke. What do you call 1,000 lesbians with machine guns?
What?
Militia Etheridge.
That's pretty good.
That's old, but it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is pretty good.
What's that smell? Is there a skunk in front of the state house?
Yeah.
Just-
many
just
skunks.
one of my
Here,
pockets.
This one's there. You go.
Big fatty.
Absolutely. Well, there's a couple different sizes going around here.
Yeah. For breakwater?
I've seen some.
Yeah, find one that
bigger.
fits you.
No,
There's some
I think that one is
there's-
from
there's
trap
some-
water.
Tracy's talking about sizes
Yeah,
again.
there's crap water. There's well, it's all about the
That's
size.
a big
bag.
It's all about the size. Come on now. You don't know
Always.
that by
Really?
now?
All about
It's all about the size.
It is really.
It's all about the size.
80% size.
It's all about the
mean,
size. Well,
I'm-
they have to have some talent too.
I'm
'cause if they
handling
don't
a-
have talent.
right.
Like
I'm handling a big
because
one right
I've
here.
had some
Oh my
big
God.
ones, and
Yeah.
like
See that?
Oh, look at the
and
size
they
of
don't
that
know
one.
what they're doing with
It's a
it.
big
If they don't
fatty.
know what they're doing with it, forget it. Take it
Hello.
away. See
I
ya.
know.
Really?
I heard it was the motion in the ocean that really made the difference.
Well, that's what separates the A's from the A pluses.
Right, yeah,
But you got to have a nice
right?
boat if you're gonna go.
That's
you're
true.
gonna ride
If you're gonna
ride
go,
these
If you're gonna go rowing, it must be a
That's
nice boat.
Absolutely.
God, I'm horny.
Horny, horny goat
We
weed.
were talking about letters to Penthouse the other day. We were talking about. I own the whole collection. I'm proud to say
Of
that,
what?
Of letters to Penthouse. The
Oh,
actual books,
Oh.
not the magazines. Like the books, they came out in a series like back in the day.
Wait,
and
Penthouse prints words?
Yeah.
Wow, there's two
Letters-
stories.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, letters.
Jay,
to
did you know
Penthouse.
that? What? Penthouse has stories?
Oh my god.
Well,
but-
I found all the
Yeah.
advertisements.
I thought it was a picture book.
bothersome,
I mean,
problematic.
Some people
Even-
only
They
care
should have made
about
it Scratchy
Penthouse.
Wow.
Not
Wow.
Penthouse.
Now
I keep
I'm
looking
really
around for
hungry.
kids. I'm just like, okay, there's no kids. Keep going.
I could have
We're
thought
good.
about something.
All right, I'm going to put my fatty down now.
Penthouse.
Oh, he's handling
Oh,
his
no pun
fatty.
intended. I'm gonna put my finger down right on that little button. Wonder what this happened. What happens when you press this button? Oh, I see. Wow, that was easy. Honestly, guys, do better. Get an anatomy lesson from a gay guy because believe me, all of the women that you guys are like giving bad oral sex on, we hear about it. So if you want tips, ask your gay friend because believe me, we know exactly what the straight women are whining about.
My cousin's gay, so I know he would tell me anytime.
You got to hit that little clit like it's a little tiny dick. That's what I've heard.
Oh yeah.
I know, right? I don't know.
I'm not. I don't like. I don't.
God, I wish
like,
Justine was here right now.
Honestly,
I squeezed
Lighter.
out of one, and that was pretty much
it
it.
was only
Tracy
that-
Lighter.
It was
Oh,
amazing.
It was only back in the day, like a few times.
I'm gonna
but,
pass
I
this to you,
mean, you
Cindy.
have to
No.
try everything, right? You have to try everything.
It's about the suction. It's all about suction.
For lefty.
Friction. Friction. Friction.
Enjoy. Yeah, definitely. Hang out with us. Are you
Thanks
going
for
up to
coming
New
by.
York? The parade's what on the 24th, right?
What are you doing
You
now?
don't want to go to no parade
my
parade in New
cousin's
York.
older
He wants to
than
hang out with a
that.
bunch of pot smokers in Trenton. That's
Jay,
where he wants to hang out.
My cousin Bobby's hot. Oh yeah, he is. He is. My family's very attractive.
Dick pics. Dick pics, anybody?
That I don't think I can do, but
That would be exploited. That would be like reversing.
Oh, yeah.
he is very handsome though.
Thank you
Wow.
for bringing
He's got
pride
bright
to our
blue
little
eyes,
spot.
so-
Jay Lassiter.
Yes.
Jay,
Everyone loves Jay.
Jay has a radio
amazing
show
guy.
too. He's on 101.5, I believe.
Jay is on
Yeah.
101.5.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
dude that
Mhm.
just left.
Absolutely, yes.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Jay and I just connected on Facebook.
Wow.
We just became buddies.
101.5.
So I've got to take pictures of these five.
Go ahead, take
what do
pictures
you
of my
think, Leslie?
chocolates.
Can I bring my go girlfriends?
You got
next
girlfriends? Tell
Yeah,
us
and
about
they're-
this.
they're
I'm
looking
sure
for
Lefty
their-
would like to hear
permission.
about your
And
girlfriends.
Yeah, sure. You can bring all your go-go
they're-
girlfriends.
No, no,
Yeah,
please
what's up
don't
with
do
that?
that.
What's
No,
up
we
with
would hate
that?
They're
What goes
go-go
on with these
girls.
girlfriends? What kind of
They're
girlfriends are they?
girls.
Do
Well,
they?
she's been in California for so long. I miss her. She's actually the only person in the
going
world
sexual.
that I've ever gotten into a physical fight with. Like we got into a bar fight when we were 19.
Oh, bar
But-
fights.
Damn.
Yeah, well, we were drunk and stupid, and we're girls, and she was trying to tell me something that I didn't want to hear. So
glad I'm just
of course,
stupid now.
I mean, you know what? But I mean, hey, I've got to say, I've got mad respect for this chick, and the reason why we're best friends to this day. Like, even though we had, we got in a bar fight, got arrested, the other whole bit. Like,
Well, you bonded.
well, you know what? No,
So-
she fought
It's
me.
it's lifetime
She
now.
fought me
Bonded in
like
prison.
any
Shake that.
other person. Like she did not fight me like I had anything wrong with me.
You like
And
that?
for
You like it
that-
rough. You like it rough.
Well,
I heard
no,
Lefty likes it rough.
Is that
the fact
politically
that-
correct though?
Well, the
Ooga.
fact that she didn't take, but no, I wasn't going to pull the disabled card anyway. Yeah, fuck politically correct. Like at the end of the day, it
You
had
kicked their
nothing
ass, right?
to do with politics. At the end of the day, it had nothing to do with politics. It had to do with the fact, or nothing to do with the fact that I'm disabled in any way, shape, or form. I didn't want to listen. Yeah, I didn't want to listen to what she had to say, and what she had to say was important because she cared about me. She's my best friend, and that's why to this day, like I have mad love and respect for this woman because she has,
Wait, what's that
has
hissing sound?
always been there. And now
someone
she's coming
blowing up a
back from
balloon?
California, and she's going to be here for a
When?
while. She'll be back on the 19th. So she's coming in at like 2 a.m. on the 19th. So she's going to come with me for a few weeks. She's going to be here for about 6 to 8 weeks. So I can't talk her into longer, but I don't know if her man will let her come. We'll let her stay forever. So he might want her back at some point in time. He might want her back.
Oh.
Might.
It's only been 13 years, so I think he would want her back. But I want to keep her here. So, because if I could keep her forever, I would divorce Dan in a second and marry her in a second. And she knows that. And we would take care of each other because, you know what? Like, there would be so many different, like, we wouldn't have to deal with.
Can you stream that?
So, at the end of the day, like, well, she and I have talked about it, like, honestly, seriously, because do you know how
Pay-per-view.
many more benefits that we would get being two women married, and the fact that I'm disabled and the fact that we both have children? If we married each other, the amount of benefits that we would be able to get from the state of New Jersey are effing ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like we'd never have to work a day again in our life.
Well, I'm really
and
glad
we'd
that New
still
Jersey
be
stepped to
making
the
money.
plate as far as helping people in those circumstances. I mean, there was a point in time they used to tar and feather folks like that.
Yeah,
pretty damn
absolutely, but
regularly.
now-
probably a few blocks from where we're sitting, actually.
Absolutely, but now in today's day and age, literally, like even
for
though
them.
the
They
man that
deserve it
I'm
as much as
married
anyone
to,
else.
but you would think that I would still be in a position of benefit because my husband's a disabled veteran. So you think that that would be just as beneficial, and it's not. Like they don't acknowledge him as the same way that they would acknowledge a same-sex marriage. So it's still like I'm glad that they've gotten to that point that they've given them the acknowledgement that they deserve. But come on, now we got to step it up for our veterans. I mean, I shared the story about the veterans that they found out about down at the convention. They found out about a group of veterans that are living in the woods, and down somewhere down by the shore. I don't know where, but they're living in the woods, like literally, and they have nothing, and they're looking for like anything cans that can be open, pop top. Nothing that has to be used can opener. They don't have electric or anything like that. They're looking for like female products. Like, I mean, as a woman, could you like imagine living in the woods and like not having something like clean and like? I mean, come on now. Like, I mean, this is sad. Like, I mean, the story made me cry. I was like, really, man? Like, what can it sucks.
It's like a tent city. I think it's a Lacey. Jackson has one. There's a couple of them.
Tom's River.
Yeah,
Man, but the fact that that's okay, like, what is wrong?
I don't think it's a matter of
our government.
I don't think it's a matter that it's okay. It's just really an example of what the hell is going on in our day and time.
But what the F is wrong with that? Like,
Well, there's
really,
plenty wrong
man?
with it. Some people have been. It's America's turning into a caste system, and that's
It's
a real good example of
disgusting.
it. It's very hard to move out of that. I've done it a couple times in my life. I've been homeless. No joke. It's difficult.
Where was that?
Oh, geez.
Jersey?
No, I was in California, Colorado, Indiana. There was a couple of places I got stuck. Selling grilled cheese only gets you so far on tour, bro. You can get stuck way far away from home with no money.
What's the conversation? What we got going on, people?
Jason Arnold, how are you, sir?
I am magnificent. It is an absolutely beautiful, wonderful day. I see all our committee, community, everyone's out looking good, feeling good, and it's a great day to be alive,
Sure is.
Yep.
Lighter side of Trenton.
That I am.
And any day we get to breathe, right?
Yeah, any
It's
day you
another-
wake up, I
another
mean, take
blessed
that
day.
first. Everything else is on you. I mean, God
Yeah,
provided
man.
that first breath, so everything else you do with that's, I mean, really rely on you.
Thank
And we
you.
all out here making the best of it. So
Yep.
what kind of conversation did I just walk into? What's going on?
You're starting. You
we're-
go.
we're-
Ready, go.
We're about to talk to Pure
It's your
Pup over
turn,
here,
man.
Who just ran away?
No, we're about to talk to
About
you.
the
What do you got
changes.
going on, Jason Arnold?
1, 2, 3,
so
go.
there you go. We changed it.
All right, so what I got going on, I've really been in this not necessarily a funk, but I've been trying to like rebrand myself and the company, everything. Like my company, the Lighter Side of Trenton, like what I do with the like promoting positive things going on in the city, small business owners, entrepreneurs, things of that nature. And like I started that probably over five years ago. But since I've been in the cannabis movement for about 4 years now, and it's always been like a rough process trying to like fuse the two together, because most of my support system from the Lighter Side of Trenton are just like positive people that want to see good things going on in the city, older citizens, things of that nature. And the cannabis, it's always been like a conflict trying to fuse those two together. So I don't know. We've been doing good with the Trenton cannabis community, keeping a positive look on that and like not being reckless and like gaining respect and everything. So like those are my like main two brands right now that I'm trying to come up with something to fuse it together to also make sense for this store that I'm basically about to open up in, I don't know, hopefully a few weeks, but I didn't expect on here to come on here and like all of this talking. I'm not even a talker. I don't like.
Could have fooled me, man.
Just talk.
You've been chirping away.
I was gonna say you're doing just fine.
Well,
Look, he got up, man. He
I
doesn't
walked
walk away
into a
without
nice,
me.
I'm sure it's a hash cipher going over there, so it probably just got me rambling a little bit right now.
That always helps. Always helps.
But
A little social lubrication.
Definitely. did you just coin that phrase? Where did you get that from? You heard that before?
No, I've been using it for a long time.
Yeah, that's nice. That was a good one. Social lubrication. I might have to borrow that.
It came out of high school. So what are you boys doing?
Today.
A little social lubrication. You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, like I was saying to Wayne, it's like at the end of the day, when you're dealing with politicians, you gotta suck it just a little bit.
Oh, wait a minute.
Like,
whoa,
to get them to
I'm
listen
not doing
to
that for any
you.
politician.
No, but to get them, like I was raised in a family of politicians, and at the end of the day, to make them hear you, you gotta give them something. Like otherwise, all they're listening to is wah the whole time you're standing there.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Call them a commie.
There's also alternates to that. Like, I mean, if you want to get politicians or people to pay attention to you, like people who are on that level and are in a power position, then what you have to do is put yourself in a power position.
Right.
Like, I mean, being a private citizen, being a public person, I mean, you have more freedom to engage the public, engage the community, getting people on your side. Like, that is NJ Weed, man. It's like, well, one, he's smart as shit, but the second, like, his greatest asset is being able to get the people on his side. Like, they don't have to know anything about him. They don't even have to care about cannabis. Like, he has the ability to get people on his side. But like,
NJ Freeman.
Yeah, so like if you really want to be heard and I mean make your whatever stand for something and be heard, like you gotta, I mean, put yourself in a power position, you know?
Gotta stand for something because you all fall for something else.
Indeed.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm learning that. I'm getting there.
You gotta let us know where your shop's gonna be.
Oh man, it's right around the corner on
Get out.
9 West Front Street. I mean, if you know where the 1911 Smokehouse got the best barbecue in the town. Well, nah, I'm not even gonna get them all that, but they got great barbecue because I don't want to offend nobody else. And like the shop right now, it's a audio and video creative studio space. Like we work with different artists, we engineer, we create music, we do graphics, videos, like any kind of videos, from shooting events to bar mitzvahs, parties, whatever. Like, I mean,
I want a bat mitzvah.
We have the creative vision. It's all being done there. So like I've been, I mean, working with Scott Miller, that's the owner of the building, working with him for a few years now. And like the front office, like he wanted to turn that into like initially he wanted to go with a head shop because I'm doing all my cannabis things down there, and he's trying to find a way, like, I mean, to get into the cannabis like space.
The ancillary businesses that will naturally spring up as a result of adult recreational use. That's what you're talking about.
And the thing about Trenton, New Jersey, like we don't have any head shops, no smoke shops. We don't even,
not yet.
We don't have people. No, but there's so many people. Like I know about a handful of people who already bought buildings and are just waiting for the laws to change.
Are they local folks or
local
right
folks?
On. Good to hear that.
And that's the frustrating part, because it's people like us who are always out in the front line, like trying to get this thing, I mean, legalized.
Right.
But there's the people with the money and the true influence and power. They're just sitting back, I mean, waiting
laying in the cut.
Happen.
Laying in the cut.
And it's messed up because these people are really going to, I mean, have that extra leg up and be in the forefront and continue to profit off of it. But that's the way of the world, man.
Well, hopefully it creates some jobs and put some money back into the community.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Hell yeah.
And then let's give it up for Reed Gutierrez, elected mayor of Trenton, our new mayor of Trenton.
The new mayor of Trenton. I hopefully someday they will want to come by and
unicorns and rainbows for everybody.
That's a blessing.
Trenton is about to get a makeover, people. It's going to be a new day.
And she's going to be a new girl after that.
I cannot wait.
That's another blessing, a blessing for Ed Fortune too.
Yeah,
think of all the blessings that are happening to him now, that are going to happen to him.
Most definitely.
He's got a weed mobile now.
Yeah, he's got a. It's all coming back, man. It's all coming back stronger than ever.
Yeah, but he will never be the same, man. I got to say that. Like,
it fucked him up.
Yeah, he will never be the same.
No joke. Especially Mercer County Jail. By God.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time. And it affected him because I could see how it affected him.
Yeah, for real. Like to just look at even like his posture, like he could even try to talk about something good and uplifting, but like they took something that he could never get back. Like no amount of money could ever pay back or make him feel fulfilled again. Like, it's sad, man. I've been through the prison system. Shit, I did 5 years in jail, like 5 straight years. So like I know, I mean, like what it could do to you, like how it could alter your mind. Like in 16 months, that's the average person the average jail bid is like 9 to 12 months, and Ed shit did 16 months
for nothing.
For nothing at all, and that makes it even more worse, knowing that you did nothing wrong.
I'm so glad he stuck to his guns and didn't fold and just take and cop a plea.
I'm waiting for the Netflix special, something, man. Somebody needs
Right?
to contact Ed and get this movie out, something.
Well, I
That's a
reached
great
out
idea.
to a few people because my son's in the industry. So I was like, hey, can't hurt to tell a couple of people.
Right.
Let some people hear, and then they can decide on their own. Like, because I repost everything on my son's social media. So that's like how Jay and I actually became friends, were because of my son. Like, he posted something about pride, and I liked it because I handle everything for my kid.
Word.
And
Okay.
that's how he and I ended up first becoming friends. So, but, I'm making these bracelets. I just talked to Ed the other day. I'm making these.
Jay.
That you can make. Jay,
There you go. In case you had something to say.
Hi.
running away.
Hey, oh, come on back.
I'm making
Come on.
these.
Oh my
You can
God,
make them like
hey.
keychains, bracelets, like anything else. And
What
I
are we
figured I'm
talking
going to
about?
sell them. Like
Are
I
we
was
talking about
to-
oral
Talking about
sex
you,
again?
Jay.
Can we?
About how women
Wait,
just-
wait, wait, wait,
just
wait,
don't-
wait, wait, wait,
No,
wait,
no,
wait,
no.
turn
Sorry,
around.
but hold on a second. Hold up. Yeah.
Warning,
Truly
warning, warning.
Not even a
Wow,
PG
children.
rating right now.
I believe the children are the future. Teach them well. Let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. What else? Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the
Pride.
children's laughter remind us how it's about to be. The end. Thank you, Whitney Houston. I know, right? Isn't it sad that they're all dead?
It is. All the good ones are gone. Like it's just period. They're all gone.
Oh, the popo. That seems important.
Like coming after
Where's my
us.
megaphone, dude?
It's times like these I'm glad I'm white because I know it's not for me. And that's kind of funny, but mostly it's fucking sad.
It is. It's really sad.
Truth.
I mean, and that's the scariest
Mhm.
part in the world is I have cousins that are
Black.
Are black? Yes. No. I mean, they're. I think they're more ashamed of the fact that
Wait.
they're related to O.J. Simpson
said
than they're black.
a black. Was it a black or a black?
No.
And what's the difference
They're
between
really-
a black?
Are you?
They're related
I don't have a
to.
child.
They're more ashamed of the fact that they're
We raise
related to
our cat
O.J.
like a
Simpson
cat.
than they're black.
You raise your what?
He
poops?
But they're in
Jay,
California.
what? Wait, Jay, what?
Okay, well, we're talking about raising our kids to be colorblind, and I'm like, well, I raised my cat. He is colorblind because I think cats are colorblind. It was a
They
bad
are.
joke.
But
But you know what's
so
good
are
about my
dogs.
cat
Cats,
is he poops
dogs.
outside, and I swear to God, I've never changed the litter box. Let me tell you, once you have that, you're never going back to like normal litter box.
That's
pussy.
amazing.
I know he's like the pine straw.
That's better than toilet training.
Right?
Isn't it much
Oh my
better than having him go in the
God.
house? Who else has cats?
It is.
We do.
Oh my God,
I
who's
used
got
to, but
it?
I can't right now. Maybe when the little one moves out, I'll get a cat again.
I
The
love
little
cats.
one and the husband, and I'll get a cat.
Cats rule.
That's what I'm.
Dogs are cool too.
I have a dog. Yes.
I love
I have
animals.
a dog.
My favorite things, kids and animals.
What's that?
I'm just saying, I love animals and I love kids, man. I'm that guy. I'm like, let's go play baseball, dude. Let's go. It's so much fun.
Well, you know, it helps. Cannabis helps with a lot of things in life, and helps you play with your family again when you can't. Because there's a lot of people, patients that can't play with, can't do things with
yeah.
their family anymore.
Yep, and they gave me back my life with him. I had no life with him. I mean, look at that face.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is one of his modeling pictures. Like I mean, I got to be there for it. Like when they opened Jamie Foxx's store, Privé Review up in New York, we got to be there, and it was freaking awesome. Like this is inside the store. It's a subway car that they have sitting in the store, and we got to be able to take like some really good shots of them. Like this is my
Nice.
Wow.
My little one. Colleen's gotten to meet him, so she.
That doesn't translate well on radio, though, Tracy. You have to
Yeah,
show
he's
it
really
to the-
an
we got
adorable
it.
mixed
Yeah.
race grandbaby with like curly, dark brown locks and
There
kind
you
of
go.
an impish face. And
Yes,
it's a very well composed photograph. It looks like it's happening on the playground. Don't ask me how I know that. That's homophobic. I hate you all. Guilty. Just kidding. Oh my God.
No,
he's
he's
so
been with
old.
BMG New York for a couple of years now.
What did you say?
He's calling people
I
names.
said it sympathetically. You've got to
Ooh,
consider
hi,
intent,
Chris.
Lefty.
It's motives, bro.
Why
So
does
it's all
somebody
about
hand
the
me a
motives.
microphone?
This is why.
Chris, I have beef with you.
This is why.
I love you, but I have beef with
Totally
you.
love the stream of consciousness coming from you, Jack.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm the treasurer of South Jersey, South Philly Norm, right? And Chris is our president here.
Oh, Chris Goldstein's here.
The press.
Let's give Chris. Chris.
Well, but okay, so but you're still involved, and like Chris, you're not accepting my friend request. What's up with you? Like, I feel so unloved.
This is another disgruntled social media friend. No, it's funny. I've actually changed how I do. The only real public feed I have anymore is my Twitter feed. I don't really use my Facebook as a
we're
public
on that.
profile.
We're
or
connected.
organizing
On,
profile.
we're connected on.
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah, and that's really my public venue, and it also speaks to how important Twitter is as a platform. Like, I've decided after years of organizing and after years of doing grassroots stuff, I think that Facebook as a platform has changed so dramatically in the last couple of years, and what happened with the 2016 election speaks to the fact that Facebook is really no longer a platform for democracy, and it's really a platform for political manipulation. So I'm not participating in that anymore, and so I'm not feeding the Facebook AI monster anymore. I used to run dozens and dozens of Facebook pages and groups. I used to, garner millions of likes and interactions a week, and I will not feed the AI monster of Facebook anymore. However, again, juxtaposed against Twitter, which I feel is an even stronger platform than it's ever been, that it really is sort of the last.
So how does Twitter different from Facebook?
Okay, good question. As an effective social media platform, Twitter, and I think that some of you have experienced this, is that you get a chance to directly interact with other people on your issue and involve directly with politics, like politicians. They are interactive on Twitter. The other aspect is that Twitter is the social media of the press. And so if you're working on a political issue and you want to earn media or influence an issue, Twitter is the platform for that. And finally, and in some ways, unfortunately, it's where Donald Trump has taken essentially the White House press office. So that
And
has made
foreign
the platform,
policy, for that matter.
Well, and that also has made the platform internationally important. So Twitter is an international political platform, and that's what we have to start thinking about, is that we really live in a lot of bubbles as far as politics go. And I call it the fishbowl of politics. We see this with medical marijuana, especially. I mean, you guys are New Jersey medical marijuana patients, and your card is not good elsewhere. Cards from other states aren't good here. The regulations are vastly different. The testing, the products.
There's no reciprocity.
It's a fishbowl, right? So, like, we're butted up against a fishbowl in Pennsylvania, fishbowl in Delaware, fishbowl in New York, and all the programs act independently. None of the regional programs recognize each other.
Right. Yeah.
Dealing with me when I was over there.
Sure, because it's
they
a more
were
modern
awesome.
program.
Like,
yes.
Like the nurse literally, I was like, where do I go to smoke? And she's like, well, you're a patient, right? And I was like, yeah, but I live in Jersey. And she's like, but you're still a patient. You have your ID. I've seen it. And I said, yeah. And she's like, and you're in pain. And then it's like, yeah. And she's like, right here. I was literally right outside the doors of the valet, like right. in the valet, smoking a bowl. No problem. Nobody said a word. The valet people walking by, they
well, we have
right
decrim in
there,
Philly
like,
too. That's the other thing.
So, exactly. Like, but still, like, so many people are like,
Mayor Gasiora here at the podcast today.
Right on. Congratulations, sir. Well done.
We're looking for some mayoral marijuana.
Mayoral marijuana here at the CMMG.
You come to the right spot, Mayor.
Kush. How do you like that?
Trenton Kush. Some Jersey Green.
Instant branding. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
on winning the mayorship.
Damn straight.
Congratulations.
Right on.
Thank you.
Thank
Please,
Thank you.
Thank
Good job.
you. Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
Assemblyman and Mayor-elect.
Mayor-elect.
Gisiora.
And a friend of Edward Fortune, too.
Congratulations. Definitely. Big time.
Friend Ed's friend.
We look forward to the expansion bill.
Oh, yeah.
And
Can't
new
wait.
regulations are going to be announced on Monday by the Department of Health. They're going to be coming out with new regulations for, or at least posting some of them.
Got a tease on
for
those?
the program, which is good
Little
news.
bit, yeah.
And also great news at Mayor Gisiora. I mean, that's going to be a big change for Trenton. I mean,
Big
how
change for
different
New
is
Jersey.
it? What's
Mhm.
that?
Big change for New Jersey.
Big change for this city. I mean, you know, now that Wee Man's out of jail and those two are taking up that corner right up at State Street, you know, it really does speak to a big change happening for the capital city. And that's what we need. I mean, you should be able to come to Trenton. It should be like Philly.
Yep.
It should be decriminalized here. You should feel safe across Trenton. It would really change the landscape here and the atmosphere.
And it was so easy. It was like when the nurse was like wheeling me out, and I was like, "Well, where do I go smoking?" She was like, "Well, you're a patient, so right here." I was like, "Okay."
Well,
because they didn't even make me go like to like the regular like cigarette smoking line. I wasn't even 10 feet in front of the door.
Decriminalized, you know, again.
So I mean, it was like crazy that I figured they'd at least push me out to where the cigarette smokers can.
Somebody I know was at Union Transfer for a concert the other day, and they were like, "Oh man, Chris, like, you know, everybody's smoking weed inside Union Transfer." I'm like, that's what decriminalization looks like for 4 years. You know, after 4 years, it really does change
you know
attitudes
what?
and perceptions.
Chris, I'm sorry that I'm a little disappointed we're not Facebook friends because of this one reason only. We live in the best county in the world because we live in the one county that has McDonald's number 420.
There you go.
The Haddon
Claim to
Heights,
fame.
the brand new Haddon Heights McDonald's. And it's now a touchscreen menu.
It's funny. 420 is like the Bible code number for marijuana smokers. You end up seeing it everywhere, you know?
Like, I mean, and like, I didn't even see it. My husband saw it this morning.
What the hell is that device that you're using?
It's a
What
dipper.
device?
A what?
A dipper from Pure Puff Vapor Supply. It's
Oh
a,
my God!
Yeah.
Listen
Would
to
you
you
like
with
a
the
demo?
product placement. It's a dipper
Yeah,
from Pure
yeah.
Puff Vapor Supply. You can get yours at $19.95. Ask them for the lefty.
I wish it was
promotional discount. If they
$19.95.
don't
I'd
shoot,
have 4 of
I'm
them.
white.
It's a nectar collector, but it's a
Nectar.
nectar collector.
A nectar.
What does that
Battery
mean? It's got a little
operated
hydrogen fuel cell in it that, or nuclear? Is
just
it nuclear?
does
Nuclear?
Blah, 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 blah.
Is it nuclear?
Let's find out.
Nuclear.
No.
So I'm
I don't
not
know.
the only one from Camden County who can't speak today.
Aren't you worried? Aren't you worried
What?
about? Are you going to go in and testify for the expansion bill?
When is that?
Today.
That's what Reed was
Like
walking
now?
in
Right
for.
this minute?
Like that's
Does it look
what
like
they're
I'm going
in
anywhere?
for.
I am going nowhere.
Why do you think he came to Trenton today? He's normally in PA.
I love being in here.
No one
This is
invited
the
us.
best spot because everybody walks by here. George
They
from
just
Curly
walk by.
was here last
Exactly.
week.
They
George from
walked by.
Cureleaf.
Yeah, he was here last
Was he dropping off vape pen cartridges to some? That's lobbying right there, folks. Free samples, baby.
We even get free
I love
samples.
it.
He should be doing that for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're allowed to do that. I mean, at least they say they're not allowed to do that. But you know that actually, I mean, are we allowed to talk about what we did today, Colleen? Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, we were at the
Ooh.
Department of Health today. Very nice,
Yowza,
Sue Carson
yowza.
and
Sue Carson. Nice.
Jeff Brown met us in the lobby at the table where they keep all of the flyers for the local pizza delivery places at the lobby of the Department of Health. We couldn't come upstairs.
Huge
And
selection of flyers.
We passed. Colleen purchased some Cure Leaf product that had something in it.
Spider mite eggs.
We're not sure what it is.
What was it?
I don't know.
We don't know. I mean,
Ew.
it didn't look like anything from a marijuana plant to me.
No.
I've seen a
And-
lot of weed, and it looked really weird. Like,
You know, it was definitely something that shouldn't have been there. Maybe if suddenly cannabis plants start producing like cotton, maybe it was from a cannabis plant. But there was either a lint or it could have been an insect egg or something.
Human
But
egg? Maybe human egg.
I don't know about that.
An
But
ovary?
the question is, you know, again, not you guys as patients haven't complained enough. Like
they think
this
we like
is
their weed.
How do we, Chris?
they
How do
think
we?
that-
how
They
do
don't
we
listen
complain?
because
How
they
do you
have us
complain?
by the short hairs,
Tell-
bro.
no,
There's
seriously.
5 places we
All
can
right,
go.
no,
and
no,
they're
no,
all
I
a
understand
evil
why.
cadre
I
of a
understand why
monopoly
people
set up
don't
by the
complain.
government.
If we bitch, they don't let us go
Right, they won't let you go in.
They ban you.
Right,
How
they
dare
ban you
you
from the
raise up a
dispensary.
voice
I mean,
against us?
Yeah.
All
We
right,
are
so
all
Colleen
powerful, all-knowing
followed.
Oz.
Now, Colleen is following a different approach in which, when she found something that she suspected was tainted in her medical marijuana, she tweeted a picture out to the Department of Health and to me and started sort of a public record of her complaint. And that brought Curaleaf responded to that tweet. Curaleaf responded and the Department of Health responded
very quickly.
And they both asked for Colleen to give them the tainted marijuana.
Everybody wanted the same weed.
Yeah, everybody wanted the sample. So I felt, and Colleen felt,
I
that
bet
it was probably
Curaleaf did.
safer to hand it over to the Department of Health for them to do testing rather than the manufacturer. Like if I got a burger at a fast food joint and there was something in it that I didn't want to eat, like some lint or some fuzz or a cotton ball sitting on my hamburger, I'm not sure I would take it right back to the
I don't want a
McDonald's. I might
replacement
take some
bag.
pictures. I might take it to my county
want that
Department of
either.
Health. I
Just
might
want
go
them
to
to
a
fix
lawyer like right away. I might go find
know?
like a
I want
cockroach
good weed.
hamburger lawyer and figure out what's going on with this. Because I bet in New Jersey there's a few cockroach hamburger lawyers around. So I feel like tainted medical marijuana is just like a cockroach hamburger case. This is something that is carefully regulated by the Department of Health, or supposedly, and it's for medical patients. And it's supposed to be at a higher standard because it's a medical product than a hamburger. So
Indeed.
I trust a fast food hamburger's health and safety more than I do the alternative treatment centers of New Jersey.
But how much you want to make it bet a hamburger is way more regulated than our cannabis?
That's what I just said. I actually trust. I'm actually trusting in the regulations that have been crafted for the fast food industry more than I trust the regulations that are in place for the medical marijuana program of this state.
They need
And
best
Colleen's
practices across the
Curaleaf
board.
weed is an example of that. Now, this is the other point you made to them. Like Colleen and I both have been around the country. We've seen regulated medical marijuana and adult use marijuana out of regular stores from all over the United States. And the other problem with the marijuana isn't just that it's tainted. What you guys buy in these dispensaries is substandard compared to everywhere else.
It's really bad.
It is
pot.
truly
Expensive.
substandard.
All of it.
And
Are
part
you
of
being
that is
serious?
part of that is the come on, Wayne. I know I love your
Yeah, I,
love
see a lot of weed,
I want people
and that's
to realize.
the worst weed anybody ever sees is the stuff coming out of our state-regulated medical programs.
So Lefty and
And
I
there's
are
a
making this
problem
up,
with
right?
Buds, no density.
When we talk about this,
Yeah, it's
about
not-
all the
black
buds have been shaked.
Like, I'm
They're peeling
pregnant.
teeth off of it.
I'm just not comfortable with putting weed with funny fuzzy things into my joint and smoking it.
Not
I'm
just that, just the
comfortable with the
general
black
quality.
market cannabis that I see. I can smell it. I can touch it. I can look at it under a microscope
You could
if I want to
even
before I
sample it.
purchase it.
Imagine that.
You know what I mean? Heck, I can even return it if I don't like it and get something different because people on the black market are flexible with their
People on the black market will front it to you. If you don't like it, you will pay no money. You will get a fronted ounce. If you take the
Capitalism
fronted
is
ounce
flexible,
home
y'all.
and you don't like it, you can bring it back and get a new fronted ounce that you'll pay for later. No problem. It's called a no interest loan program.
It's
that
like
only the
loans for
underground
people with
market
really
offers in
terrible
Give me an
marijuana.
ounce
credit that
today, and I'll
cannabis
pay you-
providers
and I'll
have
pay you
been
next Tuesday.
offering
Do you
to
know
the
what?
public
You know what's funny?
for a
'Cause
long time.
I used
Hopefully,
to-
Phil Murphy can grasp his mind around that as a Wall Street guy.
I used
But
to
there's
think-
like a serious economics to the trap that if you want to get rid of the underground economy, you have to be able to address
front.
comparative issues. Like, yeah, I'll front you an ounce. If you don't come back with the money, I really don't care. You know
but
what I
fronting
mean?
An ounce, fronting
Oh,
ounce is,
got one? Really? Hello.
Fronting an ounce
Let's
is
talk
healthcare.
after.
Like there's no actual healthcare. You can't
weed.
get a subsidized
Free weed.
healthcare. You can't walk up to a dispensary and say, "Oh, I would like that $100 worth of marijuana. Here's my healthcare card. So out of pocket today, I'm only paying $20." But what the dealers do is give you a front. That's actually the healthcare program for underground medical marijuana patients. Is the dealer fronting you the marijuana at a lower cost without
Do you know
tax?
what's sad is it's
The OG health providers.
effectively serving more people in America than our healthcare systems actually are. If you look at the logistics of it, of medicine management, people who can't get medicine, and you look at what underground cannabis economies are doing for these patients, it's amazing the burden we're taking off of mainstream healthcare.
And the only time that I've never,
You're right.
The
You-
only time I haven't been in pain in the past 25 years was
Oh.
when I was in California and smoking their medical marijuana. And that was the only time I have not been in pain in 25 years. The only time. And I never thought that that would ever be possible in my life, period.
So
Ever.
I mean, so again, what we were able to do today with Sue and Jeff was at least we handed over
Oh,
and
Sue
they
and
took
Jeff.
into evidence.
That's nice.
They took into evidence
I have a
the
chain of custody
a chain
letter
of
actually
custody
right there. Rich, you
to-
can grab that if you want.
to examine
chain of
Cure
custody
Leaf's
letter there, right
possibly
to your
tainted medical
left.
cannabis. And they say they've never done this before. So, like, you know, again, I appeal to any patient in the New Jersey program. If you purchase something from one of the alternative treatment centers that has possibly a foreign object in it, or if you purchase something at a New Jersey alternative treatment center that you feel isn't of high quality, don't take it back to the
Evidence
manufacturer.
log.
Actually,
take it to the Department of Health.
That's really
and start
interesting. They-
interacting with them about how low quality these products are.
That was what was really interesting too, and a little bit alarming in the whole interaction with Cureleaf and with the Department of Health on Twitter was when I pointed out to the Department of Health that Cureleaf also wanted the product back. She said, well, if they take it back, they have to put it right away to
You have to give it to the state
into
anyway.
the incineration pile.
Oh my God.
And it wouldn't be allowed to be sent to the lab for analysis from Cureleaf, as they claimed they would do in their public tweet to me, where the Department of Health was also in on the thread. So even, you know, the Department of Health seemed a little bit alarmed about either there was a lack of transparency and they were just straight up lying to me and wanted to just take it back and say, oh, we don't know, it got
Yeah.
incinerated, or they were
We're glad you gave us this product.
offering
We're
to
gonna
do
burn it.
something criminal and send it to the state lab despite the regulations that they have to incinerate it. So either way, there seems to be a problem.
Well, I mean, these ATCs have shown themselves to make up the rules as they go along. When the program was first created, there was supposed to be a 10% cap on THC. And
Yes, I remember
in order
that.
to avoid that, and this was something that a lot of places did, honestly, a lot of states, they fudged that by testing for THCA, which is what turns into THC when you set it on fire, interestingly
yeah.
enough, or decarboxylate it in other ways. So you could sell a product that had 20% THCA and 4% THC, and you'd get in with the program. And, you know, again, that was confusing for patients. I think the labeling issue is also something that is really clear. New Jersey's medical marijuana is batch tested once a year. That's ridiculous compared to other states, which batch test their medical marijuana on a weekly basis.
Well, George was telling me, or George and one of his representatives just last week from Cureleaf said that they test each batch, and I asked him twice.
In-house, right? No,
Right.
that's the problem. No. I'm
We
sorry.
can't really rely on that. I was trying to say that.
Look,
we have integrity.
The way we're back to the fast food model. Look, large food manufacturers all have health and safety laboratories within their manufacturing facilities to make sure that they are actually following the rules themselves, to make sure that there's no problem in their product supply. Right. And then the state also independently tests it. And then there's even independent testing labs. I mean, you know, if you buy a bottle of water, you could pour a sample out and go get it tested at Home Depot. And there's a national baseline for standards of testing water. The problem that we've encountered is that there is really no baseline for creating standards for cannabinoid potency or the other testing that goes into medical cannabis. Again, the fishbowl theory, each state has created its own regulations for this as it's gone along. And then there's been an independent industry that has made up a lot of rules as they've gone along too. So the question is that why can you take a bud and go into 3 labs and get a different result from each 3? That's a problem. That's not what happens with a water sample at a Home Depot. There's a baseline for these standards.
Best practices.
Right. Now, we have a real opportunity in New Jersey in this arena. Like Pennsylvania licensed independent cannabis testing labs. And we all want home cultivation, right? And this is another aspect of how we can destigmatize home cultivation. If there were a network of independent cannabis testing laboratories where home cultivators could walk in and get a $10 lab test on their product to make sure, not only, I mean, as a home cultivator, you'd want to know, hey, what's the THC content of this marijuana that I just
there
grew?
mold?
Is
Is
it
there
right
mites?
for this patient?
Right.
And also, did I do it right in the growing process so that there's no fungus or any adulterants that happened along the way? That even though I tried, I want to make sure.
If
You
they're
know?
like me with a black thumb that can kill a cactus.
Well, and then
you wanna
also,
have that.
well, imagine if you as medical marijuana patients in New Jersey, if there was a laboratory where Colleen could take her possibly tainted Cureleaf medical marijuana in for an independent test for $10, just like her water sample at her house. Right. And then that facility like Cureleaf and George and all these guys, they would know that there's independent lab testing out there. And that would make them follow some rules even harder. That's the whole point of how all this works. So that's what we kind of did in Pennsylvania. That's what we'd like to do in New Jersey. One of the mandates that you should see come out on Monday and through the legislation that Assemblyman/Mayor-elect Gusciora is just talking about is that they want to have an independent laboratory industry of New Jersey. This is to serve the regulated industry, but also consumers. And that's an important aspect of lab testing.
No, aren't you
Right
glad I
on.
had my Facebook grape? Because if I didn't, I wouldn't have sat you down. See?
Well,
see, you could have slipped by.
Oh, and you guys need to
It's
complain
useful
more.
for something.
When you guys get shitty weed from an ATC,
Oh yeah.
post a picture of it.
Oh, I
tag
did.
The
I
Department
did.
of Health and say,
Oh, I didn't do that. That I'll do.
no.
Well, yeah,
Tag
they
the
do
Department of
that,
Health.
and they won't let you come back.
No, tag the
Don't
Department of
try to
Health
get
and
back
say
there.
that. Say, like, we're not tagging Cureleaf because if we complain directly to them, they won't serve us as
Right,
patients
and they
anymore.
won't, and that's like, and down in our area, that's the only place you can get extracts.
Like, folks, come on,
It's the
like
only place
seriously,
you can get
imagine
lozenges. It's the only place you can get the oil.
I know chefs
in
like
our
that.
area.
Imagine, yeah, but no, this is not like chefs or restaurants. Imagine if CVS gave you a bottle of medicine that had lint in it, and you complained to CVS, and they said, well, we're really sorry about that, but you'll never be able to get your medicine into CVS ever again. Like, that is a business practice that in healthcare is actually illegal.
Mhm.
Like, what they're doing to patients in banning patients from Facebook pages, in banning patients from complaining, in banning patients from the dispensaries themselves is questionably legal. Like, they're not really allowed to do that. They want to avoid being described as exclusive state contractors, but they do operate essentially as exclusive state contractors to administer this program.
Well-
And they should be more accountable than most.
And you know, a question that hit me, and unfortunately, this hit me after George left, was, aren't they technically a satellite with what they have set up? Because they're not growing in the building that they're now selling out
No,
of.
they're allowed to. They were allowed to fudge some of the location stuff over the years too. Again, you know,
Oh,
it's,
because they own the whole block. Is that what it is? Because
Yeah.
they own both sides of the street. For those that don't know, that aren't from Camden County,
They didn't
was
own
a
it
big
in the
thing.
beginning. Didn't
Not
they
in
just
the
own the one?
beginning. They only
See,
owned
the cannabis
one,
business,
they only
huh?
owned the
Yeah.
one little lot, and
Then they bought the one next door.
They bought the one next door, and then they bought the
Business is
street,
good.
the business across the street owned the whole thing, and it was a big thing in Camden County. People fought it, and it ended up getting through because it ended up saving the taxpayers the money. So you know, at the end
I don't
of the
think
day,
I've ever seen
but it didn't.
Democrats
It-
work
it-
so
it
hard to
didn't-
make the GOP money.
It was bullshit.
Except for medical marijuana.
Exactly. That is
Also,
the-
Speaker
a-
Boehner can
That
you
is
know,
the
cash in.
truth.
It's awesome to
That-
watch.
Boner.
It's insane.
Boehner,
it
it's
really is. And you're right. Like the Democrats, I don't think that they fought harder to make the GOP money than when it comes to this specific.
Look, Chris Christie taught him
area.
how to do it. In New Jersey, what Chris Christie did was license these alternative treatment centers to his government appointees. Bill Thomas,
Chris Christie's a fucking
Knowlton,
asshole. He always has
all
been.
these guys, like these guys. No, but like think about it.
We
When
wouldn't
Chris
have,
Christie
we
had the
only
medical
have
marijuana in New
dispensaries
Jersey,
because that fat ass got caught with the fact that when his
No,
relative
he-
had like we would have never he
Like
would have
Chris
never
explain.
ever,
Like Chris
ever
explain.
opened a
Explain, Chris,
dispensary.
please.
Explain,
Go ahead.
Chris.
Look, I'm telling you, like Christie's pals, when they got the permits for these alternative treatment centers, it was a calculated move because having his friends and appointees in charge of the program meant that they never advocated for you guys, the patients. They never complained about the strict regulations. They never complained about the lack of doctors. They never
Sycophants.
complained about the lack of patients. Any other business would. And again, by having Chris Christie's partners in government run the medical marijuana dispensaries themselves, this is how this is how Speaker Boehner ends up as the lobbyist for Acreage Holdings. Like, essentially, the GOP has taken over the limited permit medical marijuana game on the East Coast. Acreage Holdings has Curaleaf. They have a dispensary in Pennsylvania. They have one in Delaware. They have one in Ohio. They have one in Maryland. So, like, the idea that a political party and a political entity has done this, and they're not stupid in doing this either. Like, this limited permit medical marijuana game is also a really interesting way to launder money in politics. Like, think about it. It's an all-cash enterprise that has no banking. It's a black hole. It's like financial trails start and stop in the medical marijuana industry. And now that it's a political decision, when you buy Curaleaf marijuana, are you making sure that a GOP congressman gets elected? That's the question. Like, are they selling you $60 a gram medical marijuana to HIV patients with a 7% tax in order to fund GOP congressional runs? And our
Despicable.
Democrats have Democrats been snookered this whole time by A, not participating in that game, and B, working their asses off to make sure that Republicans and the GOP and folks like Chris Christie's pals like Knowlton and Speaker Boehner are out there cashing checks on seriously ill patients at a high price. So, look, what Chris Christie did in New Jersey has gone national, and that's the problem. Like, what we've seen here in New Jersey, what we've lived with for the last 6-8 years, is now what is happening at the national level to the medical marijuana industry. And that's a problem because you guys as patients have experienced what that means, is skinning the pharmaceutical business model on top of medical marijuana, which is extremely high prices and an extremely high profit margin. That's the point of this whole game, is to have a steady supply of people who will always pay top dollar for something that has the highest possible profit margins. So, you know, an ounce of marijuana is selling for $40 in Oregon right now, and people are still making money at that. And that's an indication of really where the commodity price should be. An ounce of marijuana, an ounce of high-quality, laboratory-tested marijuana should cost $25 to $30. That should be a standard price. And I'm sure once national legalization really kicks in 50 years, that will be the price. But as long as medical marijuana and processed products are maintained,
he's high. Don't worry, he's
not
high.
even. Not even.
I mean,
it's
you're
$40 an ounce right now.
It is.
Black
It's
market
not.
It's
weed
not.
That's how much weed cost when I was 15.
Look, do you know what I could buy a pound of hash oil for in California right now?
I do.
You're in
How
Jersey.
much? How much you could buy a pound of hash oil for in California? Go ahead.
I'd say in the $4,300 range.
Too high. How much?
Nah, 15 to 2. 1,500 to 2,000.
Yeah, I mean, you get a pound of hash oil over the counter, regulated in the consignment medical cannabis economy there for $3,600. Now,
That's
think
over
about
the
that.
counter.
Even there, it sells for $35 a gram, which at the end of it grosses at $25,000, $28,000. So that markup at $25 a gram is excellent, but in Pennsylvania, it's $75 to $100 a gram. Now, again, there is no reason for these
$50
prices.
in New Jersey. Sometimes I heard someone say once.
Yeah, there's no reason for these prices. This is a hyper-inflated economy, just like Valiant Pharmaceuticals has done.
Oh,
And you're
dirty
not gonna,
words there.
You're not
Those
getting
fighting
a
words.
true
Ooh.
quarter. At the end of the day, you're not getting a true quarter anyway. Because
Well,
but
are you guys
again?
You're the only bulwark against this whole scheme. Is that if patients are willing to pay these prices for substandard products without complaining for years on end, they lock this model in because they say that the public will do it. As long as people are willing to say, I'm willing to pay for a card and operate within the rules of a program in order to pay top dollar for prices, they've got an exclusive market of patients who are willing to not complain and eat whatever they serve them for whatever price they charge. And I'm telling you, people are like, oh, prices are going to go down. I do not see that with the operators. I see prices going up.
Well,
How can we- how can we-
like
hold
we
on,
were
hold on,
talking
hold on,
about that earlier
Hold on,
about the
hold
prices
Chris,
going
how
up.
can we make that change? Who do we got to contact? Who do we got to bitch to?
Who do we
Yeah, what's our best way to do it?
Right. Again, stop doing what has been happening the whole time, which is eating, keep buying the products and start complaining about them.
Boycott?
Complain to who?
Boycott is only successful if you really
I
get
complained about
a broad
mine.
buy-in.
I
And
put it out there.
Boycott isn't the answer either, because again,
If you
on a
boycott,
level,
then there's
we're
still,
pushing a regulated model.
How can you tell someone who's dying of cancer, no, boycott your medicine?
Yeah, I
You
agree
can't
with
do
that.
Can't
But
do
somebody
that.
dying
No.
of cancer can't afford these dispensaries anyway right now.
Right,
Wayne. Give me a break.
exactly.
I mean, as a writer
Some
and
of
a
them
Well,
freelancer,
at the
I
same
can't
time, a
afford
lot
these
of them can't
dispensaries.
afford black market either, because the black
Not true.
market, some of the black market costs for good weed, and at
No.
least then I'm going to the wrong person, because let
You
me
are.
tell you,
In
black
Oregon,
market
dollar
costs,
gram.
In
All
Jersey,
day.
you're
Dollar
looking at $2.50 for an ounce.
Look,
and that's still a lot.
That's a lot less than $430 an ounce.
It is, but I mean, it's still a lot of
significantly
fucking
less.
money. And let me tell
Without
you,
a tax.
you know how many veterans don't have that extra money?
I don't think that the dispensary
it's
price
disgusting.
products are maintaining any patient exclusively. I don't think that any
No.
patient who needs medical marijuana on a daily
bullshit.
basis
It all
is exclusively using the dispensaries for supply. And
no.
that again
No,
is,
I mean-
we've been doing this for long enough. That confounds the entire program.
It does.
It doesn't work this way.
It
It's
does.
just like the $6 in the regulated market in California.
Mhm.
Like a small business owner in California today is caught in a trap. It's a trap laid by larger corporations and the regulatory model. So if you and I are going to try and start a regulated cannabis business in California, we need millions of dollars of capital, and we could pull that off. Lefty's a millionaire, Wayne's a millionaire. We're going to borrow some money from them. They're going to throw us some cash. We're set. You and me are going to go, right? But we're going to be caught between really overly expensive regulations, cash flush corporate investors, and an underground market that's always going to sell for less. Now, what could you and I do? We could sell for $60 an eighth, trying to cover our costs of compliance, trying to cover our costs of rent, trying to cover our costs of our employees, just on the limited sales that we think we're going to get. Or we could play a different game, which is basic American business. Instead of selling it for $60 an eighth, we could sell it for $25. And we could bet on volume, just like Walmart does.
Well, did you see what's going on out there right now? That they're busting the places that apparently there's several facilities that are medical facilities that are not charging the now regulated tax, because prior to the recreational bill, they weren't charged taxes if they were patients, and now, because since the recreational bill, everybody's supposed to be charged taxes. And that's what I had thought.
Taxes are not the problem. The
now
retail price is the problem.
Well, the retail price sucks, but they're finding out so many of the dispensaries aren't charging the tax, period. Recreational side or patient side. So that, look, this was actually just posted
I'm not. It's not that I don't believe you.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, it was posted on our page, on the South Philly Norm page, just recently, just the other day, about them busting the California.
But you're not going to get.
I mean,
that's
it's crazy.
That's
like,
where the buy-in's not going to get.
So it's almost like they're using a legal, like a legal black market, because they're legally opened. They're licensed facilities. They're allowed to deal with patients. The only thing that they didn't change is they're not charging taxes to anybody. They're not separating the patients from the recreational, which is what they're supposed to do, because patients are supposed to have access to different products than recreational. I don't know if that's truly the case, but
we're not getting. I mean, this is my point, though, is that we're not getting
exactly, and this is what they're finding out, is that they're not, the places that are supposed to be, they're not charging taxes. So now they're recreating a licensed black market, because how they now go in and tell these places that have always run this way, well, now you can't do that anymore.
Well, that's very easy, because they're open as storefronts and they're easy to find, and they've already done all the regulatory requirements and they're easy to shut down. So, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, look, we're not getting any closer to, like, with these models, we're not getting any closer to the goal. You know, we've watched the California and Oregon, attempts at heavy regulation take a real fail as far as working for a small business owner as a life, making a living. So, if farmers and small business owners can't make a living, and corporations will waste out, this is what's happening in the medical marijuana marketplace. Already happened, is that corporations have the time and investment to wait it out, to wait for small business owners to fizzle out, and by charging $60 an eighth, small business owners are separating themselves from the consumer population that could sustain them. So, look.
Now, do you think that this is a Trump game?
No,
with
California.
him?
Look, California again. The producers are complaining about the tax. If it's going to be a 40% tax on a $60 eighth, it hurts really bad to the consumer. But if it's going to be a 40% tax on a $20 eighth, it's not going to hurt as bad. The state is never going to lower the tax, because they've seen Oregon. They know that the commodity price is hyperinflated at more than $50 an ounce. Okay. So eventually the price is always going to come down, and the state has to make a longer term bet than business owners can. So they're looking at the 20-year future of this commodity. So if they don't have a 40% tax on a $50 ounce, they'll never make money on it 20 years from now. So they can't ever lower the tax. The problem is that every business owner who gets into the medical marijuana or adult recreational use game uses a hyperinflated price model for what their future profits are going to be. They always bet on this price never coming down and always having new products that come in at a higher price.
They bet on patients being fucking idiots.
Now, you can create a new business model that has a marijuana business starting out at a lower price structure right from day one. And you can actually, and again, it's a dirty secret within the whole industry.
So how do we force
is the
that
production
model?
cost? Like, think about this again. Think about what the production cost is on a pound of hash oil or a pound of marijuana. It really isn't that much. You could produce a pound of hash oil in a facility on a daily basis when everything is already paid for and running for around $300 to $400. You could produce a pound of marijuana shelf ready for sale for about half that. So, you know, again, a pound, we're talking pounds of marijuana, not ounces. We have a hyperinflated price model. And until businesses enter the marketplace in both medical and adult use areas with an entire business land based around a much lower price model from the day they open their stores, we won't break free of this. Because again, the whole industry will strive for the higher price. They're going to strive for the profit.
What about unions, Chris?
Unions are going to be hit or miss for the marijuana thing. And I think the role for unions is the unions that exist now, like SEIU and UFCW and the iron workers even and the truck drivers unions. These are the unions that need to create sensible workplace accommodations for cannabis consumers. Like, we're not going to win the ability for truck drivers to be able to smoke a joint when they're not driving a truck until the unions get involved with that effort. And they're going to have to, because the unintended consequence of legalizing marijuana is often stricter regulations on DUI, stricter workplace testing. You know, this is what is conceded to these groups in order to make these bills pass. So that's why even after medical marijuana in Pennsylvania, we've seen the state police, and even here, you know, they're more often trying to prosecute and charge people for marijuana DUI. You know, if they walk up to the car, we had a story. I was on CBS's podcast, the CBS News podcast, News on the Rocks. And one of the anchors from CBS in New York was in Pennsylvania, in Mishawin, Pennsylvania, with a registered New Jersey cannabis patient in a car with New Jersey plates. And they were pulled over. There was no marijuana in the car. And the car didn't smell like marijuana. The anchor is in the passenger seat. Her friend is in the driver's seat. He's driving. He's the patient. And as soon as the officer walked up to the car, and I've heard this a lot lately, and this is how the police are running it. Walked up the car and they're like, we smell marijuana. Yeah. And so, of course, the reaction to the driver at that point is to do everything to say, oh, you know, you're nervous, you're scared, you're upset, and you're going to try and talk your way out of the situation and say something. And, of course, the first thing he said was, I'm a New Jersey medical marijuana patient. And that doesn't matter in Pennsylvania. They have a DUI zero tolerance policy where you could be convicted of DUI for any amount of THC or metabolites in your system. One of the strictest in the country. And the way they prove it is to take you to a hospital and draw your blood and test for nanograms per milliliter. And if you refuse the blood test, you are automatically convicted of a DUI. So if you're a New Jersey medical cannabis patient, you know that even if you didn't smoke in the car or even that day, which was the case from him, it had been 24 hours since he had consumed cannabis. He knew he was going to fail the test. So he went through the whole thing. He went to the hospital, he gave over the blood, and that was what he had to do in order to get on his way that day, basically. And in order not to be immediately incarcerated and charged, you know, and held over for a trial. So he gave over his blood. Now he's got to try and work it out. But Pennsylvania does not recognize New Jersey medical marijuana cards, period. And although they do have something built into the law for Pennsylvania patients, it doesn't apply to anybody else. So just like we had a patient from Maine flying through the Newark Liberty Airport, a professor from the University of Southern Maine, and she had a 1/4 ounce in her carry-on that TSA flagged, and the New York, New Jersey Port Authority Police detained her for 8 hours at the Liberty Airport's Justice Unit.
See, Wayne, I told you.
Because, yeah, I wrote that article.
I told you that they stop you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There are 90 marijuana arrests every day in New Jersey for possession.
It's bullshit.
Colleen was arrested for possession in Brick after she showed them her medical marijuana card. So, you know, again, police practice in New Jersey has not changed. In fact, it's gotten much worse than the rest of the country. We are third in the nation. We're talking Texas, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Louisiana are the top 5 states of marijuana arrests for possession in the country. And as we could see with cases like Colleen and other patients, it doesn't matter if you have the card. It's not a people act like it's a get out of police encounter free card. It's not. I mean, it's only if you guys show up and like basically, I've been telling Colleen like maybe every medical marijuana patient should wear their card like a fishing license. You know what I mean? Like just wear it visibly out all the time, like and let the police know that we have special green fishing license holders, so when they see it from a distance, just like the rangers
like
on the
we
lake.
do for
And
the
body
service
cams.
animal. The service animal, she's got the bright pink.
Hold on, we gotta
But it's not a get out of police encounter or get out of jail free card. Not New Jersey. It's not anywhere else. So, you know, again, it's
I don't
sold as
know.
that.
So-
and it may give you guys a general peace of mind to have it in
don't
your
know.
pocket. But
I got out 10 times.
Do we just not drive in PA? Or
I
out of
was
state?
able.
Is that the
I was able to get out of it 10 times in Jersey.
You're-
Cops came right to my door and said,
like, and my
"I
kid,
smell marijuana."
my-
I was like, "Well, that's because I'm on the program."
What they went through your door
and
for?
when they came to my
where
door,
do you live?
when they came to,
I live in New Jersey, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, where you live, that the cops are walking down the street and like walking through your door
we
because
were
they smell
in,
marijuana.
No, we were
Randolph,
in LB.
baby.
We were in
Really?
LBI.
Yes.
We
Yes,
were
that's
in
nuts.
LBI.
When I
got
tap
pulled
you,
over.
when I tap you, boom, boom, boom.
We were in Ship Bottom, got pulled over, had our kid in the car. and
Oh,
they
Ship
smelled
Bottom's
weed.
really, yeah.
They smelled weed, and we had not smoked weed with him in the car. He was in the house with my in-laws, but we weren't allowed to smoke weed on their property, so we had no choice but to go to the car. So we did, and then we waited like 3 hours before we left, and it was cold, so we had the windows open. Figured it wasn't going to smell that bad. My husband made like I don't know, U-turn or some stupid bullshit. I don't know what the hell he did. Anyway, he got pulled over, and the cop comes up, and first thing he did was smell weed in the car, and like thank God I carried the law with me, and I still do to this day. I carry it with me. And I handed him my ID and the law over, and he came back to the car. And he was like shaking like a leaf, and he was like, "Oh man," he's like, "Thank God you had this. I didn't know what to do." He's like, he's like, "No, we weren't." I said, "I promise we weren't smoking in the car when because we weren't. We hadn't been. It had been 2 to 3 hours since anything." And we had our medical marijuana in the trunk at the time. So it's not even like it was in the car with our child. It wasn't anywhere near him. So because it wasn't in the capsule of the vehicle, because since it was in the trunk, and we were able to show him, hey, look, it's locked up in the trunk. Dude, like, can't give us any problems. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, I thought I had an issue with, with a kid.
I did tell you guys that we did work on model legislation that any police officer will support. Did we tell you about this?
No.
Oh yeah, we worked on a model bill. Where's Colleen? We worked on the model bill that any cop would say yes to. Are you ready? You ready for the provisions?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So provision number 1. See, what we realized is that we need to make things, in order for police to accept legalization, we need to make things work how they're already used to them working, right? So step 1 is the security box. So in front of every
like
regulated
that.
marijuana store, you've seen this, right?
I like the security box. Like, I've been talking about this. Like, somebody was talking about
what is the security
Really?
box?
Can we find out about it?
All right. So
A
in front of
security-
every marijuana store is a security box with a retinal scanner. Now, any current or retired police officer can open the security box in front of any marijuana store. And in the box is at least 1 pound of fresh product and $100,000 in cash, small bills. The retired or current law enforcement officers can use this money for, I don't know, whatever they need that day. I mean, business expenses, community events like basketball games. I mean, they want to do like a PAL League thing, and or medical supplies for themselves and their family, food, events, whatever. And then the marijuana is there, of course, for them to take for their own medical or adult use. And again, if every store has a police security box in front of it with these in there, and if they don't give out less than $100 million a year out of the security box, they get fined $250,000 by the state. Then the other thing is the cannabis consumer
bribe 'em.
identification card. So if every person who ever smokes marijuana in New Jersey is issued a cannabis consumer identification card, all police will be okay with it. Now, I have to tell you what this card does. It's perfect. You might think of it as looking like a driver's license, but it's really about the size of a laptop computer. Now, the cannabis consumer identification card, it'll come with like a backpack strap and everything. Don't worry.
Make it like the
Hat
size
unit.
of a mini.
No, and so the cannabis consumer identification card has great technology.
Will it flash and stuff?
It was invented. It's based on the same technology in a Star Trek tricorder. So what it does is the cannabis consumer identification card that everybody who wants to smoke marijuana or did smoke marijuana has in their pocket tests for THC levels in your blood at any time. If you're driving a car, how fast it's going, and if you're using your turn signal or not. And just like an Easy Pass, it'll have your credit card on file. So if you do anything wrong, like let's say, give you a hypothetical, I smoke a lot of marijuana and I'm driving in my car and I have a cannabis consumer. We have, just so everybody can see here, we want to legalize marijuana in New Jersey. We want the smoking age to be 18 years old.
No, 18. You gotta graduate.
Yes.
You don't graduate, you don't get no cannabis.
There's 100 kids walking by right now. You can't see it.
We do want the age to be 18, actually.
Whoever taught them that we need to legalize cannabis, thank you very much. I want to thank that parent, teacher, whoever it was that taught them that it's not evil, and for them to say that.
That was the
thank
kid.
you very much, kids.
Yeah, good kids.
Yeah, definitely good kids. Happy Flag Day.
There's the future corporate customers.
What about?
Right,
hold on, I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question. What about job protection for cops? That if their doctors prescribe medical cannabis for a cop,
Or for
how about
anybody.
job protection
for
anybody?
We were
Chris?
actually working on that in Philly, in a broader sense. So like, and this cuts back to your question about the unions. Like, it's pretty important for. Whoa, that was a close one. Yeah, that car kind of. We're here on the streets of Trenton today, watching the Trenton police speed by and almost hit pedestrians. That was a tough one. Woo! That guy tried to get out of the way of the cop, and he really zigged when he should have zagged. Anyway, what you're saying, workplace protections for cops on medical marijuana. That was a perfect example of a cop who needs medical marijuana. All right. So, like, in order for cops to be able to use medical cannabis, they're essentially city or state employees, right? So you need to have accommodations for all city and state employees. And that's an important thing to win. Like, in order for us to be able to make it so that medical marijuana patients have legitimate workplace rights in a private company, the first places that are going to have to do this are municipal and state governments. So that's what we need. And that'd be the easiest way. Like the state legislature can't pass a law that says you private business sector has to accommodate patients and we don't do anything about it at all. What state government can do is change and create workplace protections for state government employees. Can the state government at the state level? Sure. Yeah,
So
I mean, we asked them to do that.
If they reschedule, that would
still wouldn't do it.
It still wouldn't override.
Here's the crazy thing about rescheduling.
It still wouldn't help.
It
the
undoes a lot of
patients at
things,
all.
but it doesn't undo certain
doesn't
aspects
help
of the web of
patient.
prohibition, including workplace testing and protections.
And
So,
it's not going to help patients when they're in the hospital.
yeah,
at all.
workplace protections really is a specific thing, and it's funny that
Yeah, I want that because I want to go back to work. Like, I want a real job.
Agree,
I
and
want to work so bad. Like,
I think the truck
mean,
drivers of America are tired of subsisting on whiskey and meth as well. So you know,
Right? I mean, seriously, not only that, and I mean the doctors that are like, oh yeah, alcohol. I'm like, what do you want for
you have
Christmas?
a doctor that says,
give
"Oh
me-
yeah, alcohol. Oh hello,
Give me a bottle of
I hear about all
scotch."
your conditions. Yes, dude, get some bourbon today. I think that'd be a nice prescription
how about
bourbon.
a bottle
I mean,
of
that's the legal way to
scotch?
do it, right?
Well, no. Like, I have a doctor that tells me, you know what's going to help you? You need to go get vodka because that thins out your blood.
Wow.
And right now, you need your
It
blood
thins
to-
out your blood.
Yeah, it cleans out your kidneys too.
Really? Is this
Yeah.
doctor from Russia?
Wow.
No, he's actually from Jefferson.
Are you sure?
He's
Costa Rica.
And
Shocking.
he grew a human bladder and implanted it, and it's still working to today. So I trust this man.
Have you
with
noticed that there are?
everything, so.
It's the GOP and the Russians own medical marijuana in New Jersey. Have you guys noticed that?
Yes.
You notice
Yeah,
the
but
Russian
see, my
involvement?
doc is over
Is that what they
in
call
Philly,
Cura leaf,
so-
Russia leaf?
Is that?
Oh, well, yeah.
Is
Does it come
For real? They call
I call it
that's their
cure
nickname.
crap.
That's
Russia
We
leaf.
just call it cure crap.
No, they don't.
Yes, go to Russia leaf. my
No,
friend.
no, no.
I
That's
call
the
it
place in
Cure
Secaucus.
Crab.
The Harmony Moscow in Secaucus.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, I mean it's
I
like
thought it was Harmony.
it's like I swear it's like
Moscow.
I'm not kidding. When
I've never
when
been there.
when I looked up the original application for Harmony Foundation in Secaucus, like the director of security was a former KGB guy. I'm not kidding about this. I have it posted. It's posted publicly online. We talked about it. I mean, they were all Russians. It was just like the weirdest thing. When Harmony's application came out, I was just like, this is weird.
It's
Like-
just it's not a weird thing. It's just weird to you because you're finding out about it.
Well, no, it's weird for me because I'm not from Secaucus.
It's a
and when
common
I
thing.
started talking to people from
And
that area,
because
they're
you're
like,
gold-
"Oh yeah,
you're
totally.
a-
The Russians
you're-
own
you're a
everything up here, man." I'm like,
Goldstein.
"Wow." But look, I remember when Ken Wolski with CMMJ had like a unity dinner or something, and it was just like right after the law passed, and it was all these people who were like interested in becoming like dispensary owners before any of the regulations were written, just like random people. And there was like everybody from every mob out there. There was like these Italian mob guys who came. This guy stood up, Ken Wolski being so nice. He's like, "Everybody just stand up and
That was
introduce
Egg Harbor.
yourself." And this guy stood up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm here with this guy." And he wouldn't say anything else. And then the other guy stood up and he was like real gregarious. And he's like, "Yeah, we were looking at the medical marijuana program and we decided we'd come in and hang out with you guys since you do all the medical marijuana stuff. And this is my buddy and we're from up here and we really
I
hope
gotta
to make
say-
friends with you. Have a
I
good
gotta
day."
say,
And he
that's
said,
a
he literally
terrible
talked like
Italian
that.
accent.
He wasn't
bro.
Italian.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it was North Jersey, whatever.
That's what that was. Whatever.
North
All right,
Jersey,
cool.
It's North
New
Jersey, whatever.
York,
All right.
Like, not sure.
But the
where
other
in
guy
New
stood
York.
up, and then the
Somebody
second
who
guy
came
stood
from
up,
out of
and he had
town
a
and a
thick Russian
shiny
accent, and he really did have a thick Russian accent. Like he wasn't Jersey, he wasn't, and he was literally Russian.
My name
And
Victor.
I'm not going to do a Russian
Ivan
accent,
Putski.
but he stood up and did a Russian accent, and it was a little funny. And I thought of it at the time; it was really funny. He was much more reserved. I mean, he was more reserved, and he had a thick Russian accent. He had expensive clothes on, and he was like downright scary looking.
I want
And
dispensary.
everybody was like, "Holy cow! Like, who the hell is this guy?" And even afterwards, Ken and I joked about it for years. It's like the Russians at the dinner, you know. But then when Harmony Foundation's application came out, and they were winners, and I realized that out of the 19 applicants, they had essentially had pulled together all of the North Jersey Russians on this one application. And that literally the head of security is a former KGB guy. It's weird.
Strings were pulled.
You keep pointing
Now-
that out. I'd be careful with that.
No, I
Former KGB, still KGB. You know.
look.
Yeah,
I mean,
thought
you know,
once
we live in a
always,
world that
right?
is, you know,
Isn't it until they go
Vladimir
to
Putin's
death?
like DC comic basically right now. So, and I am convinced that Donald Trump was
Keep making fun. Keep making fun, my
Don't
friend.
you know the backstory of Cobra Commander? He was like a former car salesman and stuff like that. Every time I see Donald Trump, I think of him as like Cobra Commander. I don't know. Maybe I just grew up with too much G.I. Joe in the 80s.
Yeah, the original G.I.
You guys know, I can tell. You can tell. You
He's
can
got
tell
the-
the kids who had a G.I. Joe before 1995 because they know what I'm talking
G.I.
about.
Joe.
With a kung fu
I
grip.
was like a weird girl. Like I
real
had
American
a
hero.
thing on the back of my door that had like 500 of the original Hot Wheel cars. Like I had all the numbers. Like I was like that girl in town. Like I had the G.I. Joes. I had the Transformers.
You're
like,
that girl.
That was me. Yeah, I was the one working on cars at 16, like with the other guys.
That's
like,
good. G.I. Joeing it is up. But, you know, I do think of Cobra Commander as being essentially the model of Donald Trump today. And it's tough. I mean, I know, Wayne, you're excited. You're a Trump voter, right?
It was either that or Hillary Clinton.
Dude.
I'm sorry. I always
I'm
vote for the
sorry,
weed, bro.
I could
Cut her
not
mic. Cut
even-
her mic. I'm not done yet. Okay. All right. It's always about the weed for me. That's why I voted for Governor Murphy. All right. I would never vote for this guy's a progressive. He wants to. Yo.
Shut them all down.
You voted. So you voted
Go,
for
Wayne.
Governor Murphy. You voted for Donald Trump, though, right? In the presidential election.
Yeah, because I thought he would see
You did.
the money in marijuana. Yes.
Now, wait.
Yes,
Now, you
Hillary
voted,
Clinton.
but you're happy.
Hillary
so
said
you
yes
voted.
to marijuana, and Trump said no.
Actually,
never
Hillary
said yes.
From the beginning.
Hillary
Okay,
Clinton
you're
said
talking
wait and
lies.
see,
Yeah.
and
Lies,
Donald
drivel.
Trump said, I don't know, maybe.
And
you
Hillary
know,
Clinton said, hell no.
No, neither of them.
Hell no.
Neither
When
of them
I
offered
spoke
a
to
clear
Hillary
position on
personally,
legalization.
Hillary
She
said
said, hell
that
no.
she would legalize for patients.
No, she said that after the fucking lost. Please, give
Let
it
me,
up.
Wayne. So you voted for Donald Trump, and you're happy
met
about
her
his current
before she
position, right?
lost. I sat
I'm
down with her
happy
before
that
she
he's supporting that new, what's that bill that
Have
just
you
got
read
passed?
the new what's that? I don't know bill that he's supporting.
Cory Booker likes it. Must be good.
Cory Booker likes it.
Must be
Really,
good.
Cory Booker has his own bill called the Marijuana Justice Act that every other person likes. I haven't seen Cory Booker sign on to the States Act. Have you?
No.
I saw Elizabeth Warren sponsor it though. I haven't seen any Democrats
Mary
sponsor
Cory-
it with her. Have you? I haven't seen anything.
I
Maybe
haven't gotten
there
that
are
in-depth.
there are a couple Democrat co-sponsors there. Look, the States Act and has been misdescribed. Like I think I saw
Are they, are
I thought I-
doctors, are organizations now allowed to test the medicinal value.
You're saying research, right?
Correct.
Look,
that's a big thing with cannabis, ain't it?
yeah, it's a big thing in the cannabis politics side of it for sure.
Well, cannabis politics.
Look,
don't you want?
It doesn't deschedule marijuana, my friend. And
well,
until
yet.
you deschedule it, you're
but
not
it does
doing
for
anything.
medical marijuana.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Here's what it does, Wayne. And
allows-
let's make this important, because we've been engaging in this 30-year experiment in federalism called medical marijuana and marijuana reform, where we pass state laws that are in direct conflict with federal law in the hopes of engaging in our federalist system to change federal law to match our state laws. Instead,
and Donald Trump's for states' rights, right? Well, no, he said it a million times. Yes, he has. That's what he's.
He wavers
Don't
back
lie.
and
Don't give me
forth.
fake news, brother. Don't give me fake news.
He's gonna wait.
President Donald Trump is for state rights.
He says a lot of
Right
Fake
about when
news.
he's
All
going
right,
to
now
get
listen.
impeached,
Hold
he's going to
Fake
legalize.
news.
One at a time.
Fake news.
One at a time.
So the States Act doesn't deschedule marijuana and doesn't reschedule it at the federal level.
But let's
What the
marijuana
states-
gets researched.
Hold on a second.
Correct?
No, hold on a second.
I'm listening.
No, you're not.
I am. I'm listening. I
The
want to
States
learn.
Act. The States Act would not apply the CSA to states that have comprehensively already changed their policy. And unfortunately, the way I'm reading the States Act, at least the drafts of it that I've seen, it would kind of mean like a lot
you
of
might
states.
be reading it wrong, though. Correct?
I'm not.
Okay.
There are states that have. This is what it's going to mean. Like states have legalized marijuana and medical marijuana, and only 2 states have rescheduled or descheduled it at the state level and under their own CSAs. New Jersey is not one of them. We're talking about
Correct.
this. There's a bill for it here. So we understand the concept of state scheduling under our state CSAs. So if they pass the States Act at the federal level and Donald Trump signs it like they say they're going to do, it would not apply the Controlled Substances Act to states that essentially deschedule it under their own CSAs. So it would compel states like New Jersey, if they wanted the States Act to apply to them, to actually reschedule or deschedule it under their state CSAs. In a way, that would be a good thing. It's something that we've asked all the states that have regulated cannabis in some way to engage in anyway, and they haven't. And we've always seen it as a pitfall, even with federal policy. We wanted states to deschedule marijuana as soon as they, I mean, me and Ken went to the Department of Consumer Affairs. Pretty much as soon as we passed the KUMA here, we started the process to try and deschedule it because it's a compelling issue for that reason. You know what I mean? Schedule 1 CSA at the state level in New Jersey still describes it as having no medicinal value. That's not cool because it's not true. So the States Act would not apply the Controlled Substances Act in states that have already regulated marijuana, namely the 8 states that have done it for recreational use, not necessarily for the states that have done it for medical use. And if states like New Jersey and Pennsylvania wish to keep up their medical marijuana program without changing their state CSA classification, the States Act won't apply. So that means that the federal government could come in and still apply the CSA in those states. Now, this is a fundamental difference between Cory Booker's bill, which is a descheduling piece of legislation, a bill that fundamentally changes federal law for all states, not just the ones that have engaged in federalism already. Now, the problem with the States Act is that, like, again, this is a misunderstanding of federalism. We don't need permission from the federal government. And this is the whole point of what we've done with marijuana. We've shown the whole country on marijuana policy, and they just used it for sports betting. They've used the entire legal logic for marijuana to legalize sports betting, which you could do today for the first time in this state. The idea that you could bet on sports legally in this state today before I could buy a legal joint for a fair price in this state is absolute hypocrisy, because sports betting is far, 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 far more dangerous than marijuana ever will be.
Family
to
friendly.
society, for God's sakes.
You're not kidding.
But again, the States Act showed them sports betting and other policies have followed the same path of federalism, where states have charted their own path, compelled the federal government to change, even gone to the Supreme Court for arguments back and forth. The States Act that just came out from Warren and Gardner is a twist in the road. It tries to make it seem like you need permission to do this stuff. Like it just gives permission. It's a blessing. Oh, you already engaged in federalism. All right, we're not going to apply the CSA. They already aren't. Like the whole point of any state that regulates marijuana is that they ignore not just the Schedule 1 classification of marijuana in the Controlled Substances Act, but what that fundamentally means towards regulating something without federal control. When you ignore the CSA, it means that you're ignoring the National Institutes of Health, the Food and Drug Administration, every federal regulatory agency, and there is a list of 24 acronyms that could apply to marijuana at the federal level, right?
Good.
So all these
like
states have gotten away with regulating cannabis, medical and adult use, without any federal agency's interference or interaction whatsoever by ignoring the CSA. It's that simple. So now if they pass the States Act and President Trump supports it and they pass it, that all of a sudden says, oh, well, we're not going to apply the CSA in some states, but we are going to apply the CSA in others. And unless you align yourself one way or the other and schedule it under your state CSA, it's a question of how. That could make it worse. They could now imagine this. Imagine the federal government and the Food and Drug Administration and the National Institutes of Health saying to New Jersey's medicinal marijuana program and Pennsylvania's medicinal marijuana program, saying, you know, after all this went down, it looks like the new lay of the legal landscape and the legal logic is that we apply the CSA to your medical marijuana program. And we're not going to shut it down, but you're going to have to comply with new regulations instituted at the federal level, as well as your state laws. And that's what these entities will be battling with. Now, act
were
like they
calling
don't
for
know
more
this
regulations, though.
Act like they don't know this is coming. Why the hell do you think Speaker Boehner is being hired as a lobbyist? Okay. You know, these guys are masters of working the regulatory process and the exclusive state contracting process to steer contracts and things like that towards hospital networks and construction contracts and huge development contracts. This is their lives. This is their bread and butter. Okay. Now act like they're not doing the same thing with marijuana and medical marijuana. Act like this issue is fucking special. Okay. And that somehow it's a pure entity or a pure commodity. It's not. This commodity is being treated like everything else. And the same people who deal with everything else are dealing with this. And it's not small business owner, nonprofit person, or good-hearted individual of New Jersey anymore. It is hardcore business players who have done this for other things all the time. So again, act like this is special. It's not. You know, the question is, like, again, for patients and you guys, why do you keep buying this stuff from these guys and not complaining about the price? Like, why are you saying to these guys who literally have hundreds of millions of loving fucking dollars to invest in these businesses, why are you willing to pay them top price and not say we deserve a fairer price for medical marijuana?
I complain now.
You know,
I didn't used to, but now I do.
Well, who are you supposed
Now
to
I
complain
do.
to?
Yeah, who do we
Exactly.
You got to go to the
Right.
boss.
Who
the
we have
Department
that?
of Health. And that's the
Department of
point now is that,
Go to the Department of Health.
that's my
instead
point.
of-
Is
Like,
this a phone call,
like-
an email, a hashtag? What is it?
like again,
You
like
guys are
I think
our best way to get them
But-
all. To
I think you need to
change.
organize as look, no
'Cause
other
they
group
do
is
block
as
it out,
less
so you
organized
can't
as a
get-
consumer lobby than medical marijuana patients. Like, you have an ability, like, listen, when beer drinkers got together, they raised the alcohol volume of the beer in Pennsylvania that was able to be sold at a regulated bar. Okay. So you were able to buy beer with a higher alcohol content when alcohol consumers got together in Pennsylvania, lobbied for it. You, as medical marijuana patients, are a consumer lobby. And you have an entity, the Department of Health, who's very interactive with you in this administration that directly controls the price of your product. Okay. Like, you should be asking the Department of Health medical marijuana program to conduct a review of prices and quality compared to other state medical marijuana programs, and then figure out what your guys' average income is. Like, if you could participate in a survey and say the average income of a medical marijuana patient is $15,000 a year, that'd be a pretty damn compelling argument that they sell for a much lower price. Because I think that's fairly accurate, actually. But while they get to sell, they're pulling in a new crowd. It's not you guys that they're selling to anymore.
I did my taxes, and I was, obviously you can't deduct anything, so I was separating my medical expenses, my medical marijuana expenses from my regular medical expenses, and I ran a tag just because I had to, and it cost over $17,000 in medical marijuana costs last year between my husband and myself.
And that's another thing patients should be doing right there. Calculate the annual cost
Like,
you're spending
that's
on
more
your
than
access.
my mortgage payment for a full year.
Right, $17,000 a
That's
year
more than
to
my
be a medical
like,
marijuana patient.
and I pay taxes in Oakland where
Hold
we're
on, you
it's
gotta-
$9,000 a year.
Oh, I know it's not all of it, but that's
I mean it's
Sure, you gotta
bullshit.
include
transportation,
no,
your gas,
that,
the
that
New
is what I
Jersey
did.
medical
I
marijuana.
broke
Oh, you
down-
calculated it all.
I broke down the mileage, and I did the mileage per what the new state regulation was because I do taxes
You had your
for a
doctors in
living.
there?
So I added my doctors in there. I
Well,
added,
$17,000 to be a
everything.
patient,
So,
though.
Like
If there was a
that
news story out that
and my
said-
husband's a fucking veteran. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but I mean, really,
Do you
man?
bleep language,
Like,
Lefty? I don't
No,
think
he
so.
doesn't. He doesn't care. But
Look,
I
that's the
mean,
point, though.
like,
$17,000 a
you
year to be a patient. If there was a news story out that said there was a medicine that cost
seriously.
$17,000 a year to have that you needed
when
for your
we
life,
went to
it'd be
the-
a news story
when-
about how expensive this shit is.
When we
So-
went to the VA for help, they turned around to us and said, "Oh, well, the help is he can go on pills." And I said, "Well, nope, he's not going to do that." So, he said, "Well, if he goes on pills, it's only $8 a month."
Yeah, but it's so much cheaper.
It's only $8 a month.
Yeah,
If
it's not cool. And
if
there's
he
no
takes the
subsidized
pills that
access
they're
other
gonna
than
send him,
the underground
it's
market.
$8 a fucking month.
Yeah.
That's it. If he goes through the VA, but that's his only option. It's bullshit.
Look, we
Like,
need
I
to start
mean,
talking about not the eighth price or the ounce price, but the monthly and the annual cost to patients. You need to start saying it costs
Amen.
me $17,000 a year. And that's the other point is that
It
when
cost me
Colleen
more
is
than
bringing
it cost me $17,012
medical marijuana with
$15
crappy
One at a time.
tainted product in it, and she's I mean, imagine any other business that has customers that come in the door at $17,000 a fucking year. I know car dealers, guys who sell cars, they wish to sell a car every month at that for a cash rate.
Hell yeah.
These medical marijuana
I
businesses
was
in New
in the
Jersey, these,
industry.
and they are, they're cannabis
Yep.
corporations. It's a state-sponsored cartel.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's a cartel.
Monopoly.
Call it what it is.
Monopoly.
It's a dictionary
Hell yeah,
definition
it
of a
is.
cartel.
It is a cartel.
They get
Got
to
you by
set
the
the price
balls.
amongst themselves and then set the price across each other. So
They
it's a
got you by the
cartel.
balls.
They got you
So-
fucked, man.
Well, but
Like,
they have you guys again. What you guys are is a powerful constituents of consumers, and a better organized group of consumers now would start talking about now. Like when they first started the program, you could tell them how much spent in a year. Now you've got like essentially longitudinal data on your buying costs, and you could take that to the Department of Health and the legislators and say $17,000 a year to be a medical marijuana patient in New Jersey is too much. And if you're going to sell this as an alternative to opiates, and you're going to tell opiate people who are addicted to heroin that they can use medical marijuana as an alternative, it has to be more accessible, which means far cheaper than $17,000
yeah, if you want
a
to kill
year.
the black market, that's the only way to do it. I mean,
Shocking.
that is more than my mortgage payment in a full year.
Disgusting.
It was more than my mortgage payment in a full fucking
more than my rent.
year.
Nothing
I wanted to
compassionate.
It's
just
blood money.
like. I mean, now I live in a decent town, but that's still bullshit. You know, my town's not accessible. You saw my town. The only thing that's fucking accessible are the liquor stores, the bars, the liquor stores, the American Legion, of course. Those are the only things in my town that are accessible, and they're completely rebuilding it. They're completely redoing Collingswood, Haddon Township, Haddon Heights, Haddon Field, like that whole area. Like that's how they're trying to justify the cost of our taxes. So why aren't you making these places accessible? Because I
Right.
can't go to the coffee
Look,
shop.
it's not the
I
cost
can't
of
go to
compliance.
the ice
Again,
cream shop. I
you
can't go
you
get
guys as
pizza.
patients can't accept the answer. These
I
guys
better
testify
go to Wayne's to
that
get
the reason
pizza.
they charge you so much money
make
that it's
pizza.
$400 an ounce in your
well,
dispensary
subs
is
instead of
because of the
healthy.
rent that they have to
Wait,
pay.
wait.
You can't keep letting them get away with testifying before all these committees and say this is the best program in the country. It's the best program ever. We do everything right.
So send
when
everything I have
the
to the
price
Department of
is
Health.
unaffordable to patients.
Part of the problem is there's only 24,000 of us.
Right, but that's the point. You're
They
a
ha- they-
concentrated group of consumers. This is my. If all
Well-
24,000 of you, or even
Hold on,
50% of you,
Chris,
12,000.
hold on a
Even
second.
12,000
Hold on a
of us
second, brother.
bitched, then
How
that
do
would
we
put weight on
know
it.
who actually has a card? Unlike most other states, okay, like I can't find out who else. is
You
in the
can't find
program.
out in any
statewide
state, Wayne.
mailing list.
Thank fucking
No.
God you can't. That's
I
the
don't
whole
know.
point of the registry is that nobody can
Right.
find out the list of patients. We worked really hard to keep this out of the JNet database in Pennsylvania because they were threatening patients with taking away their guns.
But how can we get the patients together if we don't know who exactly they are?
Look, I'm sure once you start complaining about prices and break the stigma on that and start encouraging patients, why don't you, like I said, encourage patients to participate in surveys, have CMMNJ start a patient survey, an anonymous patient survey where you verify that the person is a patient, they verify, they show you that they have a card, and then they can take the survey with CMMNJ. So at least there's a control on it not being a non-patient or something like that.
Well, we know how
and then
Wayne feels about that.
You verify that somebody is a patient in the program, then they can take the survey, they fill out how much they spend per week, per month, what they would like to see out of the program, and then you take that, calculate the information together, say our patients say they want to pay an average of $25 a quarter. Our patients say, they already have paid $17,000 a year for access to the program. And you take all that together and then you say, okay, we as the patients of New Jersey want this price for our, and that's how simple it is. I want you guys to realize this, that it's such an arbitrary price. And this is what we're convincing departments of health on. It's such an arbitrary pricing system that you guys can ask them for what price you want. Like, these places have sold that you, the patients, the very seriously ill registered patients who jump through the hoops to get a card in the first place, are responsible for paying their rent and their investment capital. And that is not how healthcare businesses work in the rest of the world or hospital networks work. You are not responsible for paying for their rent and capital. You're responsible for paying the commodity price on the drug produced. And they don't have the right to build in all that other stuff and fund their investors and fund basically a Ponzi scheme. I mean, these things are Ponzi schemes. I mean, if you really want to get, none of the dispensaries make money, right? They only have 28,000 patients in New Jersey. Their prices are so much, not many people participate. Even the registered patients don't buy all their product there. George is happy to admit on Facebook that they don't make any money, that they're just breaking even. Why are they in business at all?
For the long haul.
No, to get investment capital, to get another permit in New York, to get investment
For the
because
long haul.
everybody gets paid even if they don't get the other permit.
It's like you said earlier. They're smart. They're corporate businessmen. They have the money. And
But
the
Assemblyman,
wherewithal
look,
to
Assemblyman
wait it
CS
out
doubled.
and
CS
then-
doubled in size.
and then open up more and
When
more
I
and more
interviewed-
because
when-
it's a closed market because you can't get in New Jersey.
When I interviewed Assemblyman Raj Mukherjee, the Assembly Majority Leader here, the Majority Whip, I'm sorry, not the Majority Leader. He is a lawyer for several dispensaries and a part owner of one of the New Jersey ATCs, I believe, is how it's structured. And I asked him, I was like, look, who pays your salary, the patients and their prices or your investors? And he said, well, it's the investors now, but it will be the patients down the road. And that's the point.
But the patient shouldn't have to pay a dime.
But they're
We're
selling
already
you
getting
that you
fucked.
are paying all those bills. That's my point here, is that Raj, Assemblyman Mukherjee, is quick to admit that his expensive legal bills are paid by the capital investment side, the investor side, and that what they're charging you to come in the door is not what's paying his bills. So they know what the actual cost of production is. They know how much they're getting on a profit margin. And they may not say, I mean, yes, they're essentially not making money, but at the end of the day, they are. So they're making money every step of the way on you guys for no good reason while they've got cash flush investors throwing money at their bank accounts.
Yeah, driving a
That's
brand new
not cool.
2019 F-250.
Look, any other
big
business,
red
and technically they're
pickup
supposed to be
trucks.
for patients. Any other business, if I was in the marijuana business and I had if you and me had a marijuana store that was just making it, just getting by,
That'd be
okay?
fun.
And we were charging top dollar just to get by.
Am I front of the house or back of the house?
Let's
Oh,
see.
the back. He's the back.
I was thinking of you more of the maitre d' kind of wearing the tuxedo, being the host. I think
Opening
of more of
that
myself as a
door.
waiter or a kitchen guy.
Oh, the
But,
kitchen. I'll be in the kitchen. I
you know.
wash dishes and stuff.
There you go.
You gotta be
there
the
you go.
front man,
Well, in our
so-
business, we're barely making it. We're charging top dollar, and we've been promising our customers that as soon as things get better, we'll charge them less. We've been promising them that the whole time. And then somebody comes to me and Lefty, to Chris and Lefty's marijuana business, where you're working as a dishwasher, and says to us, look, we know you're just getting by. I got $40 million for you right here. Listen, you guys are great. Expand the business. Charge, do whatever you said you're going to do. Here's $40 million. No questions asked. And the first thing that we do is expand. We open a second Lefty and Chris's, and we charge the same prices, and we never lower the price whatsoever. But you and I, Lefty and Chris, actually would. If somebody handed us $40 million, we'd drop our prices 50%, try and reinvest in the business that way. You could do it like that. And that's where these
But they don't
dispensaries
see
have
that.
failed you guys terribly.
They don't
And-
see the long play.
Well,
They're only
and
seeing
these expansion
their
bills,
short money.
as much as I like Reed and everybody else in there, some of them,
Is that
these
what it
expansion
is, Wayne?
bills
They're
are
only hearing
tailored
the-
to make sure
the
that
short money.
these Chris Christie pals are the expanders and nobody else. So these are, again, back to the idea that medical marijuana and marijuana doesn't get treated special, that it is just like any other commodity or state contract or anything else, and the same kind of people are at play. It's not a pure commodity by any means. So I'm gonna have a cigarette.
And that's why there's no home
Cigarette.
Oh,
how dare you?
Damn, tobacco cigarette?
Really?
Oh,
yeah, you should get a
the
vape.
company that lobbies against
Oh,
cannabis.
what's wrong?
You enjoy
Yeah.
that
Why?
cancer stick.
Why?
I'm gonna give him my business card
Hurtful.
before I leave.
There we go.
Look.
There we go.
Look,
Defend
even
tobacco.
even on my natural American spirits, it says tobacco and water. They even disclose everything in the organic tobacco. Go get a vape pen cart from a dispensary. I wonder what you don't even know what the hell is in there. They can't even tell you. They don't even know what the measurements are. Milligrams, milliliters, potency, THC, whatever. Plug it in and go,
Yeah,
man.
did
Have a
you
great
see
day.
that-
Feel
that
better.
post with the bubble
Calm,
in
awake,
there?
aware, alive.
That bubble in there, man, that bubble is like 5-6 doses because they figure 2 little lines is 1 dose. So that bubble ends up taking
What are you talking about?
What bubble of what?
I have no
What are you
The
talking?
bubble and the
I'm
oil,
lost.
like,
I am
no.
totally
The bubble
lost.
boy.
A
And I'm high as
conversation
hell.
came
And
up
I'm
about
lost.
bubble
I
in-
could follow anything, but
Okay.
I'm lost. Go start from.
You're
stop
talking.
stepping.
I know what you're
Okay.
talking
Go back
about.
to
we
one.
were talking.
I know what you're talking
There was a conversation on one
2
of
hours ago.
the NJ kind of sites, and you both liked it, so I figured
Word.
you had something
left.
about how that there was a bubble in
The syringe.
oil in the syringe, and I actually took a picture of it, and you could see the bubble ends up taking now the when you get the curry leaf oil, the bubble in the syringe, because it's an air bubble in there with the plug top that they put on there, that bubble ends up taking up 5 full doses of medication.
All right, hold on. I have to ask a question
So-
here. Cindy, how many people are actually watching your podcast of my podcast? How many people are watching that?
I think she has more followers than you.
How many? 21. She has more people watching her podcast with horrible audio than watching them. Why don't you have them watch ours instead of being a competition over there? You're our competition.
Tell
You
them
want
where
a
to,
mic? Come here, honey.
What are you talking about?
tell them where to find
Anytime.
us. Here.
Yeah, tell them to come over here, and listen to us properly, because when we take phone calls, you can't hear it. When we
Yeah,
you,
okay,
you
so
can't hear
yeah,
shit.
that's
I
it.
know what you're doing, and you can't hear anything.
I got a mic for you right here.
So
There was 21, but I think it went up to like 50 or something.
okay,
I always have more people watch on mine too.
I know,
Like
shocking.
by the end of the day, I would have like at least 100.
go through a lot of trouble to set this up, and then it's like, all right, we'll just-
150 to 100.
we'll just
But
put-
I
we'll
always
just set up phones from now on.
I
It's your-
always,
let's go-
always,
let's do a podcast.
Yeah.
always put my shout outs to
There you go.
Sativa Cross, and I always made sure everybody knew what I
Sorry,
was
Chris, what?
doing.
It's great to see you guys. You're doing great work.
Chris, thank
I always love watching. I am one of the 20 people that watch this.
I watch it
on their channel.
Are you watching
You know,
right now?
One of the things I was going to suggest to you is that you really have those moments like when Reed came by and things like that. Go back and cut those out and make those like little video clips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is such a long show that you have to clip
Some
out of
people
it in
tune
order to
out.
Yeah,
get
I've been
more of
doing
an
that.
audience.
I'm
So,
try- yeah, it's a
you
lot.
know, but that was a perfect moment. You have a lot of great little perfect moments like that all the time. So I'm glad that you're keeping it up. I find it hilarious that we have to talk about the injustices of police and how they interact with marijuana consumers while you guys smoke joints in front of school children and police all day here, which is hilarious.
And we have school children
we don't like to do
yelling, legalize.
we try not to.
Social
marijuana.
use club. It's a
Yeah, we
pop-up
don't.
social use club.
We don't like
basically,
to. We definitely don't.
Hilarious.
We'll all try to
but,
put
you
down
know,
when the
it's
kids
good
come
work.
by.
It's a sanctuary city for potheads over here.
I once Mayor Gisiora gets into place, I really hope that you guys do a different approach to city council up here with Weedman and
Yes.
decriminalize Trenton. It would be great to see Trenton be the first city in New Jersey to do what Philadelphia and 9 other cities have done in Pennsylvania. So
And then can we get
we tried it in
Camden to do
Camden
it?
and they didn't want to do it there, and I think
Yeah,
Trenton could be a
I know,
different
but
kind
I
of a place.
think if we try it again in Camden, it might go again.
What
It
happened?
might go now.
What
like
happened in
there's
Camden?
been some changes.
We got the.
There's been some changes.
I don't want to get into that. I got to get going.
All right.
Yeah, it's
all
a
right.
tough one.
I
want to
it
see
is a
cities in New
topic,
Jersey
but there's been
decriminalize
some-
marijuana because 90 arrests a day. This legislature is not dealing with legalization or decriminalization on any level right now. We have police departments in New Jersey arresting 90 people a
Yeah.
day.
Mhm.
So as much as they want to talk about expunging records, they're creating 90 records a day.
Yeah.
So we need to deal with this more tangibly, I think. So I'd like to see more of what we're doing in Allentown, Bethlehem, and that. So thanks again, guys.
Nice. Thanks, Chris
thank you,
Goldstein. Chris Goldstein. Chris Goldstein, what's your website? How do people find you? Freedom. What's your you got a few websites.
Go on Twitter at Freedom is Green.
Yes.
Freedom is Green
There it
on
is.
Twitter. You should tweet more.
I'm trying.
You should tweet more.
Try.
No, really.
Hey, Chris,
more.
have you found out how many people have actually been unjustly murdered by police because of marijuana in the state?
In New Jersey?
Yes.
I can't say. I was trying to get an anal cavity search at one point. Me and a couple other
You
reporters.
could get them down at on Route 206 down by the.
Oh, you mean no? I wasn't
in
looking.
Southampton.
Funny enough, I wasn't looking to get an anal cavity search. I was
so
looking for
hot.
data on that. Actually, not.
Yeah,
You know, at
That's the state of
NA's
Ryan.
last weed party, I
Yeah.
had quite the front of the pants
Yeah,
experiences
yeah.
there with the
Well-
Philadelphia Narcotics Squad. It
well,
was not fun.
Red Lion likes using 2 fingers on young boys with.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. They do that right down the street. We could watch. You know.
We don't know if it. Well, what I was
Maybe
trying to
go
find
live
out.
next time.
I was trying to find out how many times state police or other police departments have performed
Anal cavity searches.
essentially roadside cavity searches
Ew.
For marijuana.
I don't think that's
I'm
protocol.
sure it is.
Ugh.
Well, and
Proctal exams.
it's
is,
actually
the
really
correct,
tough. I mean,
uh,
arrest data is easier, and counter data is.
Is
a
there
lot
special
harder.
training for that?
There you go.
For proctal exams, they should have like gynecology license, right?
Stop resisting.
They should have.
They didn't even
something,
put on
right?
gloves today.
They should also train them. You know,
Wait a minute.
do the test. Turn your
And I
head
thought I
and
was, but everybody thought I was bad. At least I know that I'm not. I'm not the evil one.
Hold on, I gotta ask the question. God, can you turn off the wind for 1 second so I can roll my joint, please? Watch, right now. Thank you. A little more down. Turn it down.
Oh.
Thank you.
And just
Okay, terrific.
Just enough. A little bit more would be nice. That's good. Thank you.
All right, we have to make a phone call here.
And then we should talk about your bills. What's going on in your industry? That's a biggie.
Oh,
They're trying to overtax us.
They're trying to kill them.
They're trying to actually close us.
Yeah. Put them out of
Yeah,
business.
two bills right now. 10 cents per milliliter of e-liquid. That's one. The second one, 75% wholesale tax.
And that's insane.
Wait,
Sure is.
I hear something.
Yeah, I do too.
I hear noise. I hear somebody's phone.
It's her.
Oh,
It's not me.
is that? Can you shut that off? Can you please shut that off? Thank you.
I blamed her. I was like, it's her.
Ah,
It's
no
her.
way.
It's her.
No. I don't do that shit anymore. Lefty knows that. I tell everybody, like, I take pictures and stuff, and then I just
can you shut that off?
hashtag and I click, you know, I make sure everybody knows Steve Cross, but I don't live feed anymore. I don't do that. Everybody knows where I'm at now.
Mine was to went to Lefty's video.
No. Oh, instead of sharing, yeah, because if you don't click share, then it just plays the video. I've had that happen. Yeah, that sucks.
All right.
It does suck. But at least it went to your video, Lefty. So I mean,
Yeah,
at
beautiful.
least it wasn't like playing something else,
The-
playing some annoying YouTube video, right?
You don't know how to turn
It
it on.
was just playing your video.
Come on now. It's working.
Hello?
Honeybee, you're on the air.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, I should say.
Oh, what time is it?
How's your field of cannabis today?
It is 10 to 2. I've been watching.
Honeybee,
I remember what you told me.
hello? Really?
Hello?
How's your field of cannabis today, Honeybee?
Oh, it's beautiful.
I bet.
It's amazing.
$1
I
a
love
gram?
that.
You got $1 a gram cannabis in Oregon. That's amazing.
$1 a gram, $10.08.
I have to come visit you.
So what you got top to look forward to?
We
Yes,
have to go
everyone come
visit.
visit me.
Oh, I have to come
Come be
visit.
on my
Honeybee. I
podcast
need a
in Oregon.
vacation. I need a vacation so bad. I do.
Oh, it's fun out here.
Oh, I
Yeah,
have to
I
come
bet.
visit.
It's wonderful.
All right, I'll PM you later. I'm serious, man. I need a vacation. I need to get the hell away from it. Like, but I'll wait until after the go-go girl goes home, and then maybe I'll go home with her, and then I'll go up to Honeybees because going from LA up to Oregon is no biggie. So you know,
Yeah. Not very far away.
What was it on the way?
A lot closer than Jersey.
Could be.
no, but I'll make it on the way.
That's right.
I'm making my stop at my
Oh,
layover
yeah.
on the way home.
It's only about 8 hours round.
I'm making
That would be
my.
awesome.
Well, see, the plan is that I'm gonna fly home with her anyway for a couple weeks because I'm gonna go visit some family that's out there. So since I'm gonna go home anyway.
Are you gonna fly there?
Yeah, we're gonna fly there. So
How long is the flight?
the flight is like 6.5 hours, I
Wow.
think. So, well, we do have a layover, and the layover is like an hour and a half. So, and then you know,
Yeah, I
but
don't
total
like-
altogether, we're in the air for about 6.5 hours. So,
I'm afraid of big planes.
well, I can't stand them either, but you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do.
What did I do with
so,
What did I do?
All right, I want to thank cmmmnj.org. I want to thank sativacross.com, magicalbutter.com, NewJerseyWeedman.com. Congratulations. United Food and Commercial Workers Union, 152. David versus Autism.org, medical-freedom.com, NewJerseyCannabisbusiness.com, CannabisLegalSolutions.net, New Jersey Grannies for Grass, Minorities for Marijuana, Canaway, JacksonStorms.com, Jay's Purple Ribbon Journey, Jenna's Journey, Aerial Photography, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, Weed for Warriors, Northeast Veterans Alliance, Pure Puff Vapor Supply. I said Pure Puff Vapor Supply. Pure Puff Vapor Supply. Pure Puff Vapor Supply.
Thank you for your support.
Pure Puff Vapor Supply. We need a song for that. We do. Here, let me see. We need a song for Pure Puff.
Why don't we work on the jingle?
We need a Honeybee
and then
song too.
on 710 when you do the podcast for my shop.
Here, we'll do your song and we'll do Honeybee's song. Here, we'll just Honeybee. I got a song for you too. Hold on.
Yay, I want to get it.
Pure Puff Vapor Supply. Pure Puff Vapor Supply. Right? Something like that. Pure
You don't
Puff
want me
Vapor
singing on this.
Supply. Pure Puff Vapor Supply. Get your vape pens at Pure Puff Vapor Supply. Go ahead. You gonna sing?
Got a rap.
Go ahead.
I'm not a rapper.
No?
Nah.
I was gonna sing.
Pure Puff.
Pure
Pure
Puff Vapor
Puff.
Supply.
Vapor Supply.
Pure Puff Vapor
Puff.
Supply.
West
Vapor
Berlin.
Supply.
Pure Puff Vapor Supply. Pure Puff Vapor Supply.
Smoke your herb at the puff, puff, puff. Puff it at the Vapor Supply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pure Puff Vapor Supply. There it is.
Pure Puff.
All right, where's my other one here? For Honeybee. Honeybee has a song too. Is it the? I was gonna do a different one for you, Honeybee. Actually, we could do that one, but I have a different one that's better.
Then who you gonna roll with,
Yeah,
Lefty?
we need. She needs
What's
her own.
better than that?
She needs her own theme song.
Because her name's not Lefty.
It's Honeybee. Honeybee. Find something from Winnie the Pooh. And Honeybee Pots.
Oh, I have it. It's on. Hold
No
on.
Winnie the Pooh with Honeybee Pots. Honeybee Pots.
Yeah.
Somebody's.
I'm going to be starting my podcast soon. I need my theme song.
Hey, did you ever make medicated honey? I make medicated honey, you know.
I've never made honey. I've made about everything else.
Oh, well, make
But I
medicated.
need to make honey.
You make medicated honey. You know, you take your tinctures and then you just put it in your honey and you stir it up. And then you take a spoonful of honey. Helps the everything go away. It really does.
Right.
Helps
It's
cure
true.
all
It's
your
true.
illnesses. And all it takes is 1 teaspoon, depending on how much marijuana you infuse into your tinctures.
Right.
But yeah, make your tinctures, stir it in your honey, and then put it all over everything, even your loved ones.
Oh, good. I have pizza already made.
Hold on. Check it out. Honeybee, can you hear it?
Yeah, yeah.
This video features Ed Fortune. You can see Ed Fortune in the video on this. It's pretty funny. It's from a long time ago. This is the guy who died.
This is Jay Arletto, who died from opiate overdose. He could not get medical cannabis, but he sure rocked out. We got another theme song for you, Honeybee. This is kind of cool.
Not just the time, it's a state of mind. Quarter, nickel, even a dime. Bloodshot eyes is a sign of how fucked up you get, cause you don't win. Look up at the sky. I'm ready to fly high. You know what I mean? It's time for the green. You know what time it is? You know what time it is?
Time for Honeybee.
You know what time it is? You know what time it is?
Time for Honeybee.
Back in the mix of it. I try to be
That's all we got. But it works. We'll fix this. This is her theme song. She needs a theme song. This is going to be it.
That's
right.
The game is not only made for me to get fame. More 20 rolls around, it's time to get blazed. Mouth all dry, eyes all glazed. All of what is nature's best. When I put it in a bowl and I smoke with the rest. Those who smoke weed are least disturbed. Loves against trees, don't be absurd. Cause I speak the word, I smoke the earth. Woke up, this is part one. You haven't heard? You know what time it is? You know what time it is?
Time for Honeybee.
You know what time it is? You know what time it is?
Time for Honeybee. We can have different people sing it each week. Honeybee! 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 Honeybee!
You know what time it is? You know what time it is?
Time for Honeybee.
You know what time it is? Oh, yeah. You know what time it is?
Time for Honeybee. There she is.
If you got 'em, smoke 'em. If not, roll 'em.
Welcome to the show, Honeybee Thomas.
420.
Hi, Honeybee. How are you? Uh-oh. Are you there?
No.
Seriously, you're not there anymore?
She had enough.
Did you hang up on her?
Seriously, where are you,
She
Honeybee?
was like, I am so sick of this song.
Oh my God! I guess you didn't like the song.
I'm distracted from your brain.
You didn't like it? It was that bad? Really?
All right.
Joanne,
Atari smoke out.
Guitar Smokeout. Hashtags
Let's
Guitar
get it done.
Smokeout.
Let's get that done.
What I miss?
I
All right,
like
Joanne. I'm not
that.
going to hang up on you. So, what I missed there? Oh shit! That's going back to here.
The Atari smokeout. We didn't talk
What?
about.
I'm at work today.
Oh, okay.
I'm at work today. Sorry.
What do you do?
I have to answer the phone. I did hear it. I can hear it. I'm an office manager and bookkeeper for a tire shop.
Stuff.
Carruthers Tire.
So I sell tires.
Carruthers Tire.
Carruthers Tire. How may I help you?
Why is the Michelin Man the wrong color? Can you explain that?
The blue Mission Man.
He's white.
I thought he was
In
blue and white.
America, the race,
Yeah, America's racist, right?
in America is racist.
Yeah, the Michelin Man should be
Yeah.
black, but he's not.
Oh, because the tires are black.
Tires are black, so
He should at least be black and white because of the white walls.
I never thought of that.
yeah.
Yeah,
so-
definitely the way
Yeah,
it was
he's
back in the day.
yeah. So he should
I
be
don't buy
black.
Michelins. They're
black
too
and white.
expensive.
Should be black with white balls.
Right. They
Yeah.
paint them white.
They're good racing.
They make them, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
good racing tires.
They go through the trouble of making
Is
the
this sort
Michelin
of a
Man.
hybrid?
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, they're good racing tires. Sometimes. Some of them, depending on what you got.
All right,
I heard
Honeybee.
this last night. I heard this on a comedy show last night. It's not racist. It just involves race.
Does it always though?
How does that work?
I I was listening to a comedian last night, and that's what he said. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, but there's car races and horse races and stuff like that. They don't involve them.
Every
I'm just trying to throw you off.
They all have their
Blow
own
your brain
issues.
cells out. Are you on lunch break? Did your boss know you're
No, I
talking
just,
on the radio?
no. I just got to work. I just got to work 30 minutes ago.
He obviously doesn't watch Lefty's podcast.
All right, Don Carpowitz is here. Don just pulled up in his Harley.
Oh, yeah, we haven't seen him in a while.
We got to give him a seat because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got to talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll still be here, but I'm at work, just so you know.
Oh, I know. I was so high last night. I was Barini high last night. Yeah, I was.
Woo.
We got to bring Jeff Sessions in to read the news again. That was funny. I like that.
Was he here?
He comes by once in a while.
With George?
No.
I thought they were hanging out like buddies.
No, I asked George about unions, and I thought he was going to get up and walk away, but he didn't.
He didn't, no. Nope, he's acting like he wants to correct things.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like unions, but fair enough.
But
there's reasons
he has
why
a lot of pull.
he should have some talks with the union. Because I was union for 16 years. I support unions. So there you go.
So, wow.
Good thing.
Yeah, it's a shame, you know. So what's this? He's saying that he doesn't own the place. He's just what, manager or president or something like that? What is that supposed to mean?
What they're like a board, right? So they
Yeah.
each actually own a piece of the.
Oh, so he
pocket.
really
It's
is
so-
like
he's just not 100%
He said he was not an
owner.
that he's
No, he's getting paid to run the
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say,
yeah.
like he's
Getting
getting
paid
a
a
piece.
lot.
He's getting a piece of the pie. He's getting a piece of the pie
Right.
somewhere. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know, I mean, because he said he was on the board. So because he said we're a board,
he's
we're
doing his
not
job.
like there's no owner. There's
right.
a board.
Yeah, so basically, he does what gets a raise and not what makes us, you know, better quality
I mean,
patients. It's just
I can
whatever gets them
understand
the money.
situation, but things can be handled a little more tactfully at times.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, at least you know.
That's all.
If there's a problem that somebody has, they should find a way to correct the problem instead of getting rid of the person. Because it's more than one person that's having these problems, and then they get afraid to say anything because they can't. They're afraid that they won't be able to go to the dispensary anymore.
Well, I don't shop there anymore, so
Yeah, I don't like shopping there anymore neither. I mean,
it's
I
the
feel
closest one to my house, but I
Yeah.
can't.
Breakwater makes me feel so much more comfortable.
I like Breakwater,
Yeah.
and I visited Egg Harbor for the first time last month, and I was impressed.
I heard that their stuff. Well, I
changeover has
tasted
been
their
nice
stuff. I
down
never.
there.
And I felt like, honestly, I walked in there, I felt like I got treated like royalty.
Really.
Yep.
Yeah, the treatment,
But the weed
patient one-on-one.
No, it was good.
It's gotten
Really?
better.
Yes.
The quality
It's gotten
has
better?
gotten
Listen, I buy
much
into
better
like the
than what it
boards, and I read
was.
and I read, and I'm like, I'm going to avoid Egg Harbor because I didn't
Right.
really read good things about it.
Everybody bashes
But
Egg
there's an
Harbor.
influx of patients. I've never been there, so I got an appointment and I went there, and I was shocked. I was impressed, and I
Really?
got treated very nicely by Mary Kay, and
The lady sells makeup. Now she's selling pot. That's cool. Do they give away the pink cars with the big marijuana sign?
I don't know.
on it?
You're gonna have to ask them.
That
Check
would
'em
be
out.
awesome, right?
I get a job doing
That
that.
would be awesome.
Check 'em out.
Yeah, well, pretty
We'll
soon
use
marijuana
that for Mover,
marijuana
right?
makeup products
What's that?
coming
We'll
to a
use that
store
for
near you.
Mover.
Right for Muber.
For our
That's right.
marijuana our marijuana Uber.
All right, so
So,
like
Get the
Compassionate
pink Cadillac.
Sciences, their weeds like, they got like small buds that they're selling as big buds. You go to Breakwater and their small buds look outrageously great, and they're just as big as Secure Leaf's regular buds.
Yeah, right.
And it
Well,
gets
that's
me
what I was
really,
talking about, the
really
bud
high.
size
I don't
earlier.
care. I
And
don't
it
really
tastes
care about
great.
how big the buds are. I can care less. It's the quality of the medication.
Right, it's the motion of the ocean, like I was saying before.
You know, for like marketing purposes, it's nice to have like
Yeah.
a nice big nuggets in like your whole quarters, one bud.
Shit,
That's
yeah.
awesome, but
if it's not
if
going to
it's not,
work,
like I really don't care. It just has to
Exactly.
be quality medication. That,
exactly.
that
It's
works
what's inside
therapeutically for me.
too, not what's just on the outside.
Right, but it's like what Cured Leaf calls
Yeah,
bud. That's what
well, those
you
are-
get down as shake, which is
Now, I
half
don't know if- I
price
don't know if you
down
guys-
at Egg Harbor.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the
you know,
the
I
thing.
mean, those big size what they consider, their big buds at Curaleaf, what I was showing earlier, you literally get that size bud in the shake that you buy from Egg Harbor, and the quality has been good. The prices you're looking at have priced that way. You're not paying now 100 whatever a quarter. Now you're paying 80 a quarter or 90.
Where?
I'm not sure.
At Egg Harbor?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the shake prices are anymore.
Oh, I don't
It's been a
remember. I don't
while,
usually buy
but-
that.
Well, I mean, the shake price is half the price of what
Oh, what do you-
and then
Do they have guards there with guns? That's all I want to know. At Egg Harbor, no?
No, I didn't see any
Breakwater,
guns.
no guards
And
with
you
guns.
can
Do you
go
know
in-
that Curaleaf has
they-
2 guards with guns?
When I was
if one
yeah, but
wasn't
they're close to
intimidating
Camden.
enough.
Come on, they're so close to Camden.
One at a time, guys. Go ahead, Cindy. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how Curaleaf has to have 2 armed guards when Breakwater doesn't have any guards with guns, and Egg Harbor doesn't
Does that
have.
bother you though?
Oh God, it
No.
makes me feel uncomfortable because
Does it?
Yeah, well, I had an experience that was pretty sour. I guess some of you've heard of it.
Okay.
Where 18-year-old friend of mine, I helped him get his license. He's a very good kid. He's in college. He's not your average pot smoker on the street. But he waits 2 months after he gets his license from the state of New Jersey, and his referral from the doctor. It literally took at least a month and a half to get into the dispensary.
Yeah,
He
it's
finally
taking
gets into the
forever.
dispensary. I go in there to go with him to show him what kind of strains would work best for his condition, because he has post-traumatic stress and he has anxiety. And I find out that my referral expired. So they wouldn't let me to go inside with him. And so he goes in by himself. And, it's a shame because they sold him the shittiest shake. And he had bought 4 bags of this shake. I told him I could have got better stuff scraping it off the blades of my lawnmower. It just, it's not medicine.
missed
It
the
wasn't
demonstration
going to
before.
help him. So he goes in and he purchases this crappy shake when somebody should have been there to tell him what kind of strain would have worked best for his anxiety.
Well, Egg Harbor does
They
that.
didn't even give the opportunity at all. Matter of fact,
Egg Harbor lets you take.
a matter of
somebody with
fact, let me
you.
say something right now. They did not pull him into the room and give him a sit down.
What?
No, we just went. No. They
Egg
did give him a
Harbor
sit
lets
down.
you
It was a
take
quick sit down.
somebody-
No, wait a
Big
minute.
difference. Hold on. That's shocking.
one
Wait,
was
that's
it?
shocking. Oh, it's
Wait. No.
Listen,
It's all good.
listen.
The thing is it took like
Maybe
5
it happened,
minutes.
maybe it
It was so damn quick, I forgot
That's
about
terrible.
it. It
That's
was
terrible.
like in, out, oh, you know her. Okay, then
just
you know
sign
everything.
A, B, C,
Yeah,
D,
well, like
E,
I
F,
said,
G.
in, out, you know her, you know everything. Okay. So anyway,
Yeah,
we
but
go
that's
up.
not right.
I can't go in. He goes in, and instead of somebody helping him to buy the best stuff he could get for, it's his first time. Shitty shake. So I'm out in the car, and he comes out there, and he's
Shitty shake.
shitty, not just shitty.
He's on special.
Shitty shake. Shittiest shake you could ever shit on. So anyway, I notice he's visibly upset, and he should be happy. When people come out of the dispensary, they're always like, "Yeah, I
it's
got
like-
my real pot."
it's like
Look,
Christmas.
It's my first like Christmas. He comes out, he's all depressed. I'm like, "What happened in there?" I didn't.
Shitty shake.
I was shocked. I mean, first of all, he
You got
shows
shitty
me
shaked.
shows me what he
Shitty
got,
shaked.
and I said, first of all, friends don't let friends buy shake, especially shitty
Shake.
shake. So
Shitty shake.
when he told me what the guard said, you're going to be utterly shocked. There's 2 armed guards there to top it off. Like that's not intimidating enough. After he buys the 4 bags of shitty
Shitty
shake.
shake.
They look at him and say to him, "You better not sell any of that to her.
Ooh.
Better not sell any of that shitty shake to her, because she doesn't have her referral this second
You better watch out.
Well, that's not the
So-
reason not to sell
They
it.
might kick you out.
for her shitty shake.
Shitty shake.
Shake. So I go, and he's trying to hold me back, and I'm like, "Dave, don't hold me back." They said that can I say fuck on your podcast?
My God.
I think you owe somebody a quarter.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I owe you
No,
a quarter.
said it.
Here, you
said
get to
fuck.
light
Now,
the
Mr. Wade
You gotta
wants to
pass the
leave.
joint now.
I got to pass the joint. My bad. I blew my brain cell out on that one. See you next week. People are leaving now. So anyway, I go marching back into the dispensary, and immediately the guy behind the counter, the really nice guy, the cute little hippie guy that checks you in and stuff, real nice guy, slides down in his seat automatically. He's like, oh shit, I knew she was gonna come back. So I come in there and I start yelling at the guard. And I'm like, how dare you? You stereotyped that poor 18-year-old kid who's here with anxiety and post-traumatic stress as a patient. This is supposed to be a medicine, and you stereotype him? I said, let me tell you something. He goes, well, first of all, I was joking. Said you were not joking and it wasn't funny. Bye-bye. So I told him, I would never, ever
smoke
your shitty even if you gave it to me for free. And believe me, he wouldn't have to sell me pot.
Lying. Fake news.
I
Fake
could get
news.
pot anywhere.
I won't smoke their shit.
I will never.
Yeah, no.
Never smoke their shitty.
Ready for the trash.
So I went off on him and I told him how ignorant it was. The guy behind the counter was very nice, shaking his head nonstop, saying, yes, I agree.
Was it a shitty shake?
Oh God! You know,
was a shitty handshake.
Well, the kid said he actually got high because, of course, he doesn't smoke a whole lot like we do. Cure leaf. Russian leaf.
Cure shit.
Russian leaf.
I've heard Russian leaf going around.
Yeah,
I don't know if they were changing her name or what.
Right?
I don't know why there's no guards at Breakwater.
There's no guards at Egg Harbor either.
There's
They
no
have
guards
an
at
awesome
Garden
dog.
State, is there?
Yeah, there is.
They have the
There's
most
guards at Garden
amazing.
State.
They
Figures.
used to have the most amazing
don't bother
dog
me.
down at
Swap
Egg
room.
Harbor. That was
The
just
guards
beautiful.
don't bother me, and
You
here's
know,
why.
they don't
Yeah.
bother me if they're not judging me, falsely accusing me.
God.
I agree with
Telling
that.
me that I'm going to commit a
Let's all talk at once. Why not?
Yeah, that's what we do on the Lefty Show.
This is
It's
great.
ADHD and it's
I can't even tell you what this because we don't use that word on the program, okay?
What word?
The R word, okay?
Did you say the R word?
R word. I said R.
No, that's what it. I'm telling you what it is. It's a blankism. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Grumpy catism.
Yeah, no, we need to have some decorum here. One person at a time.
Wait.
One person at a time. Have some decorum, unlike the people in that building.
You gonna
there.
time it?
Be above those people in that building. Have decorum.
You should
Thank
have
you.
you should have a stopwatch.
What starts with R? Because I'm
Just
confused.
saying.
God.
Reefer.
Oh,
Hello.
I like that. I like that name.
What'd you say, Wayne?
Reefer.
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 Oh, back to reefer. Can we talk about reefer?
What starts with
Reefer.
R?
Marijuana.
Well, we're ending the show. We got Honeybee on the line here. We're gonna end the
Ooh.
show.
Cannabis.
Oh, are those the chocolate?
Oh, she came back?
Hi, everyone.
Oh, Cindy's at the chocolate.
You don't need a spoon.
Shitty shake.
Shitty.
I believe this was your spoon.
Oh.
That's what you get at your dispensary? Shitty shake. That should be a song, Lefty. You can make a song. Shitty shake.
Shake.
I think
Shake. Shitty shake from.
it should be an opening or a closing to the show.
Shitty shake.
It's
Someone
just
teach her
closing
how to
hers,
hold the beat.
opening hers. So.
Please.
Shitty shake rap.
Yeah, I like
Shitty,
that. I
shitty.
like that.
No,
The
we
shitty
could
guy that
shake.
sang.
we could have a song and a
Shitty
dance.
shake.
We could do one of those. What are those
I
called? Those
know.
dances that just break out in places. Flash dance.
I doubt I could get
Shitty
him,
shake,
get in
flash
touch with
dance.
him, but I know the guy. I know
I need a lighter.
the guy.
Flash mob.
That does.
Flash mob.
Flash mob.
Shitty shake. Flash mob.
Flash dance is a movie.
Hey, before we go, I got a question. Hey, Don, do you want to say a few words, Don? Or,
Don.
yeah, here we go. Don
Don,
Markwich.
we need you to sit
He's a
down.
combat controller.
Who?
He's been on Stars and Stripes. He's all over the
Over
military
here.
magazines. This guy's a veteran.
Thank you for your service and happy Flag Day.
How are you?
What's up, buddy?
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on. Honeybee, can you hear him?
Test.
Honeybee's doing her thing. She's, selling racist tires.
Yeah, beautiful day to ride. Beautiful
Nice.
out.
You took your
man.
bike out today.
Yeah,
Nice.
right down 29, rode over to Lambertville and came down 29. Really nice.
Oh, that's my favorite. Take my Trans Am over there, tops off, drive through there. Oh, hit all
Go
those
New Hope. Maybe I'll
hills.
hit New Hope on the way home. Hang
Ugh.
out downtown there. I'm not quite sure. I grew up in Hamilton Square,
I love New Hope.
so
New
I'm
Hope
gonna
ever
go.
roll out
I
to
don't come down here
Peddlers?
that often. I live up in Morristown, and so I think I'm gonna go hit some old haunts around here. You know, ever hear JoJo's Tavern? I'll give a shout out to
JoJo's Tavern.
JoJo's Tavern's in Hamilton Square, New Jersey, at the 5 Points.
Okay.
And that's the place that when I was 16 years old, I drank my first legal beer. And I say it's legal because it was drinking age was 18 back then, but I had a fake ID at 16. So I drank my first beer with my fake ID at 16 years old, and I've been drinking in that bar ever since. They got great bar pies.
Same owners?
Probably. It's a lot of the same people. It's family, right? You know, it's
Yeah.
family thing, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, when I go in there, I see people, always see people I know.
It sucks when there's turnover there in a bar you like when you finally
Am I
find
okay
the
with the speak?
comfortable one.
Is this
Yeah, you're
good
good.
enough?
I got a question for you about the whole Chappie situation, that movie that's coming out.
Right. It's bullshit.
You're
man.
a combat controller,
Right.
and Chappie was a combat controller.
Right, exactly. We were teammates actually, and Chappie's going to get the Medal of Honor. It hasn't been announced yet, but it's been announced unofficially through a lot of
Veteran sites.
even through
Yeah.
Newsweek. It was in
American
Newsweek.
Legion.
It's been through a
It was
lot
in
of
the
it's-
American Legion
yep,
magazine.
it's
I
been
read
through-
it.
It's been mainstream media. It's been out there. However, there's a big controversy between us and the Navy SEALs, especially SEAL Team 6, who we work with. I work with SEAL Team 6. We get attached. We're Air Force guys. Nobody knows who we are, really. So we get attached to Navy SEAL teams and Delta Force teams. And bottom line is, 16 years ago, Chappie saved the SEAL Team 6. Yeah, there were 6 guys that died on the mission, and he was one of them. But because of his actions, he was awarded an Air Force Cross back in 16 years ago. But some newly resurfaced, and I say newly resurfaced, drone footage that was shows Chappie is the one that went in, and when the SEALs left him for dead, it was a mission where the SEALs thought he was dead and they left him there, which is in the heat of a battle. That's not unusual. You're going to go back and get him. You know, they thought he was dead. That's the way it goes. I don't question that judgment. However, when they left him, he got up. He woke up. He was just unconscious, and he ended up killing a whole bunch more guys. He killed a couple guys hand to hand. He stabbed a guy. He was fighting Taliban hand to hand, and I called in some more airstrikes. He fired his weapon. He killed another. He fought for another hour and 37 minutes, and that hour and 37 minutes of footage was covered up by the Navy, because the Navy SEAL Team 6 didn't want to admit that an Air Force guy saved the Navy SEAL Team 6's ass. So that has started a big, huge controversy in my special operations world, where so much so the Navy, the commander on the ground, Slavinsky, he was recently awarded the Medal of Honor for that same mission, where 16 years ago, he was the commander of the mission. 16 years ago, after the mission happened and Chappie died, and he got his Air Force Cross, or he got his Navy Cross, Chappie got his Air Force Cross. He credited Chappie with saving their team's life. Without Chappie, they would all not be there, including himself. However, they covered this footage up, and he made some bad calls on this during this footage. Slavinsky did. So the Navy doesn't want to lose face, So they gave him a Medal of Honor already. It was never in the pipeline for him. It went through so fast, people couldn't even believe it. It popped up. He's already got it awarded. Chappie's still not been announced because the Navy, they're brokering a deal with Congress. The Navy's brokering a deal with Congress. So there's going to be 2 Medal of Honors. Chappie won't be able to walk away as the 1 Medal of Honor recipient of the mission. The Navy SEAL team has got to save face because they left him for dead and they didn't want to have that happen. It's all going to come out in a movie. There's a movie and a book coming out. Oh yeah. So it's all coming out in a movie and a book, and it's all been written and it's all coming out. It hasn't even been announced by the White House yet, but I can officially tell you that the president has spoken to his wife, to Chappie's wife.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact, and I'll probably get in trouble for even say that, but it has happened. It's coming. However, the Navy were like, I guess whatever broker deal they made with Congress, that they said, let us get Slipinski him first. He gets to get it first, and then Chappie's going to get his sometime in the future. But Chappie's also going to have a book and a movie already coming out in 2019.
Good,
so.
good.
So, and it's going to tell the story of what happened. We don't blame Slab. Slab he was a commander on the ground.
Right.
He did what he was supposed to do. He got his Navy Cross. He deserved his Navy Cross. He's a hero. Absolutely. The cover-up after the fact.
That's the problem.
That's it. Yeah.
Always the problem.
The politics.
The morals, right?
The politics. Because the Navy wouldn't accept the fact that one Air Force guy saved all of them.
It's not
so
what
the movie,
happened.
they didn't want the heritage of the Navy SEALs to be that an Air Force guy saved the Navy SEAL.
Where it should be world news.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Right. So
And that guy should have, his wife should have been the one.
So
awarded
there's
his-
a lot of people that say
Yeah,
Slab
with
should have
the honor,
declined that.
yes.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of people say Slab should have declined the Medal of Honor that he just received just a few weeks ago.
Yep.
He
It
should have
was all
declined
over
it.
everything.
That's not the way it goes. Even
Well, it
we were
lays on
even
his mind
if you
now.
watch the video of Slab getting
think it
awarded
should.
the
He
Medal
was-
of Honor, on his face you could tell
Heavy heart.
that he was
That
he was like,
wasn't-
I don't really
he
want it.
wasn't
Right,
totally
I don't
into
want
it.
it.
It's haunting
But
him.
he
I
could
just
have
don't
done.
want
He
it.
could have.
I bet.
He could have
Chappie
denied
saved
it
my
and
life.
turned it
If
back.
it wasn't for Chappie, Slab wouldn't even be alive. That's the whole point.
But
And then they give the guy the Medal of Honor. It doesn't make any sense.
Slab's acknowledged that, right? Though.
No,
He-
Slab he was on the ground and he's made some bad decisions. He did some bad.
Right.
His team and the Navy SEALs in general have a bad reputation within Special Operations Forces because they run amok. They do what they want. They don't play by the Special Operations procedures. They kind of like are cowboys and they like it. However, those boys cost my brother his life. And also cost 6 other people. PJ, pararescue guy, Air Force PJ, pararescue guy, was on that mission also. Cunningham's his name. He got killed also. And then there was Navy SEALs that were killed on that mission also. His teammates.
And all their families and everybody who's been
Yeah.
affected forever.
Forever since then.
Forever.
His family. I'm friends with Chappie's wife and kids. I know them. I
Right.
knew them from way.
And,
I've
and
known
so
them for
sad
many,
that
many
they
years.
don't get to.
And
Yeah.
I know I'm friends with his sister. We've ridden at Sturgis together, me and his sister. And so his sister started some stuff, and so I started some stuff. And within our Special Operations community, there's some real hell going on. The public doesn't know about it, but it's really, really bad. There's a whole lot of real bad crap going on in the secret world right now. In the Special Operations, military Special Operations world.
Oh, yeah.
Navy versus Air Force, right?
Navy, Air Force, right? Exactly. And the Army's backing the Air Force
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Army's backing us up. So
Yeah, that's what I heard through the pipeline that the Army's kind of
the Army's saying because everybody's saying the Neils are
and it's kind of like because I got friends on both sides of the aisle. Like, I have some people that are like can't talk about it. If I tell you, I'd have to kill you. So that's
Right,
it.
that's
That's
where
the
I
end
used
of it.
to
It
be.
is.
I was in that
like,
job,
My
right.
my uncle's like that to this day. He'll
Well,
tell
that's-
you I went to Nam, but he will not tell you a thing
Right.
about what he did, and he'll tell you straight up. Like, and he's drop dead serious. If I tell you, I have to kill you. Period. Like, he will not tell you anything. But through the
A lot of it is
pipeline
I don't
with
want to
being
talk
involved. Well,
I use that excuse that it's classified.
Yeah.
When it's not really, and I
New
could
World
talk about
Order.
it, but I just don't want to talk about it.
It brings up bad
being
shit.
in the pipeline, it's really ugly. It's ugly. Like it's ugly in the waters. It's divided. Like I mean, you've got units that are divided on the inside.
Well,
I mean,
nowadays too, the way
it's crap.
the discipline in the military has changed.
Mhm.
in the Obama era, a lot of things changed with the way things go, and out of tradition. So I'm out of that. I retired in 1993, way before 9/11. I did all my secret missions that were really secret. We didn't have any media, period, at all. Back when I was doing my missions, I was working with the Contras and the Sandinistas down in Central America, doing stuff like that. And then I'd get home. I'd be gone for months at a time and get home. And the only thing, media outlet you could see what was going on was CNN. Back then, there was no internet, wasn't none of that. It was just CNN. So we'd go on missions, and I'd go on a mission, and it would be a world news mission. It would be a world news mission, and come back and watch CNN, and we'd all laugh because that's not what's going on. They would report what's going on, and we're like, haha, that's fake news.
Yeah.
I've been calling CNN fake news since the 80s.
My husband
because
says the same thing.
That's why Trump
Yeah.
jumped on that fake news thing with CNN, because the military, all the military knows it's fake
Yeah,
news.
yeah. He
Everybody
says
in the
that all the
military
time. He's like, I don't even bother watching it anymore because
No, you watch
like,
CNN when there's actual breaking news, and you want live coverage of something. I'll go to CNN for that.
Or the
I'll tell you
government-
what, they've got,
yeah.
but you want to get news. It ain't news because they'll report whatever you throw out.
They control
And
all
that's
the
what the
news
military
media.
does.
Yeah, they do.
Back
They
in
do
the day.
control it. They control what they say.
That-
They
Like
all say the
government
same
back.
thing. They're all
Government
brainwashed. If
back.
you watch the news channels, every single one of them says the same thing. Like they're repeating it
Government
from a
back.
script.
Right. Back in my
They're all
day,
government
we
backed.
didn't have any of that.
Puppets.
All they got was whatever the military would release to them. So the military would release them wrong information.
Yeah.
So
They get some of their
they'd come up with
yeah.
a complete scenario that's not what it was, and that's what would be reported on the news. When Jesus Christ, has nothing to do with what we're doing.
Or they'll get their news off Facebook news feed. And they'll just throw it up there, and they'll say, "Oh, this is happening," and then they don't even correct it.
Right. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Don, what is a combat controller?
Combat controller. We're FAA certified air traffic controllers. That's our first school that we go through. And we become FAA certified to control air. I'm actually certified in two. I've been FAA. It's called facility rated in two facilities. I was an air traffic controller in Zweibrücken, Germany, in the tower in Zweibrücken, Germany, and I was also a controller in Pope Air Force Base down in out of Fort Bragg. And so I got my ratings there, but we all have to do that. And we're special operations guys that get attached to Navy SEALs, Delta Rangers, a lot of foreign. We work with a lot of foreign country special forces, and we all jump out of airplanes. We're all airborne qualified. We're all HALO qualified, which is high altitude, low opening, military free fall qualified. We're all combat diver qualified. We all go through combat diver course. We all go through all types of survival schools. We go through. I can't go through all the lists. It's just it goes on and on. But our training from
it's similar to SEAL training.
The training we go through. The SEALs have their thing, but then we do send some guys through BUDS. They have a thing called BUDS, and that's their tough school, their course that they go through. And we have sent combat controllers through BUDS. We do have combat controllers that every once in a while we get a slot and we get a combat controller to go through it. So yeah, I have friends that have been through BUDS training. I've got brotherhood that have been through like Ranger school and stuff like that. I haven't been to any of those schools, but I've been to all free fall and combat. I went through Special Forces Underwater Operations course in Key West.
Underwater?
Yeah,
oh, boy.
yeah,
That's tough.
That's to allow us to work with the Navy SEAls. That was and also
Eric.
working underwater, infiltration techniques. It's all about infiltrating underwater into places. So
nice.
When we get there, we
Bye,
work.
Tracy. Thank you.
We talk to airplanes. We call in airstrikes. Thank you.
Grab a seat,
Thank
Don.
you.
Hey, grab it.
We call in the airstrikes. We call in resupplies. We call in. We set up runways, and when there are no runways, we'll jump in and set runways up. We seize airfields. We jump in with Rangers.
That's
insane.
Do
airfield seizures.
Man.
We do. All types of stuff. Like I said, we generally don't work by ourselves too often. We work with other special forces, and we're quiet. Nobody knows about us.
I hear you wear your regular clothes.
Yeah, back in my, I don't know about nowadays. They probably do still, I'm sure. But yeah, it was okay. It's just way I am now. I could be at work. And I was in the military. Yeah, they encouraged us to be that way. They didn't want us to look like we were military.
So when your crew lands, you can either be air traffic controller or a pilot.
We're not the pilot. We're air traffic controllers. We would jump.
But you could.
Okay, I'm a pilot myself.
Right.
That's personal. That's not through,
Okay.
That's not through combat control. But I'm a commercial pilot on my own. But I used to fly for missions. They would if we were going to go somewhere, I'd say instead of rent a car, like, hey, can I rent a plane and go fly, and we'll go fly. The unit would do that.
Right.
But I never flew like in kind of missions or anything like that. But jumping, that's jumping and diving. That's our forte. I've jumped out of airplanes with with motorcycles on parachutes. Jumped out with boats.
Cool.
Jumped out with. You throw the boats out first, and we jump out next.
James Bond stuff.
James Bond stuff.
Sick.
Done it all. Absolute James Bond stuff, and that's all at night, by the way.
I'd love to do that.
That's all pitch black night.
That'd be fun.
And we only do it on moonless night.
That must be like such a rush, right?
We only do that on moonless
You
night.
get a rush from it.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, I missed that rush.
Oh, bet.
Yeah, that rush,
It's better than
chasing
anything.
that rush when I got out of the military was one of my
Oh yeah.
demons. I had to learn to live with it. I'm never going to get that rush
Oh, wow.
again.
Yeah, the only dream now.
Yeah, it's once you get it, you feel it, and you'll never get it again, and you miss it.
Oh yeah.
It's a heroin. My adrenaline, the adrenaline was just heroin.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't even adrenaline anymore. It was more, when I would get pumped up, it would be more like relaxing. Like I jump out of a plane at
Oh,
25,000 feet in the middle of the night, and I got my O2 mask on,
Yeah.
It's pitch black, and
you got no choice but
and
to
you
be
just
in the
kinda, and
moment.
you're just falling, and you're
You're in the
like
moment.
you got 3 minutes of falling
it.
before you pull your parachute. Just count 3 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
It's
right.
a long time to fall.
To be with yourself in the
And you
cosmos.
just like la 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 la, look around, and sometimes you can see some stuff, and sometimes you can't see shit.
Oh boy.
And sometimes it's over the ocean, and sometimes it's in foreign countries, and
Wow.
we jumping in foreign countries, and they don't know we're there, and all of that kind of stuff. So
defying death.
we've been there every day. I defy death. We all we're big motorcycles. We're all into motorcycles, and in fact, when you see special operators and you see guys riding the motorcycles around, that's probably Air Force guys.
Nah.
That's us.
I love air.
When we have the dirt, we had dirt bikes that
Yeah.
we would
I
put
used to
parachutes
drive
on and throw them out.
Yeah, I used to drive the dirt bikes. I got to get my Harley fixed. I'm calling Barb's. They got to pick that up so I can start riding again. I love that.
Yeah, today's a good day. I'm doing okay. I'm going to make it through today. I think Lefty knows.
Oh, it's beautiful
I
out.
go
Yeah.
through in and out with I have Lyme disease, and Babesia, and Bartonella.
Wait, what's the second one?
Babesia.
Babesia. What is that?
That's it's the tick-borne version of malaria.
Oh. Wow.
It's a parasite. It's not a bacteria. It's not a virus. It's a parasite. And I went through all my treatment a couple years ago for it, and it's not going to get any better. I just got to learn to live with it.
They don't know how to kill it.
There's no treat. I mean, I went through treatments, and it got it under control to where I could function. I couldn't function.
You try anything natural like chestnut Hall or anything?
I have one of the things. It does several things to my body. It constantly kills red blood cells. It's always
boy.
killing red blood cells. It makes my brain swell.
Wow.
Every once in a while, it affects my gut
You
really
were
bad.
telling me about your brain swells. It affects your vision.
I
that
got-
you can't
my
see.
brain will swell so much that it'll push
Yes.
pressure onto
I-
my eyes. It'll make me blind.
I got some things that can help you with natural thing. Well, first of all, chestnut Hall.
Well, that's stuff for me that only happens when I'm me and Lefty went to a sash thing, and it was
Oh,
really
it kills
super hot.
It was really
the
hot.
chestnut
And one of
Hall
the
kills
things,
parasites.
Hold on.
bacteria, one of the things that this bug does, this parasite, it loves heat. It makes it alive. So if I get overheated,
Like fungus.
and sweaty and hot,
Yep.
and just
Like
it
Candida.
releases it through my system. It becomes undormant.
Wow. Wow.
And so when we went and did that, me and Lefty were suffering.
I was suffering. I couldn't imagine how you felt.
And then I just got out of bed. I just felt better. That was a week ago, Saturday before the last Saturday. So
Now,
2 weeks ago. And I'm just getting out of bed 2 days ago. I just was able to get out and do something.
Now you know that stevia what is that it's a sugar. It's some kind of a
stevia.
That's good for Lyme's disease. It helps kill Lyme's disease.
Well, what it is
stevia.
It's a sugar replacement, and a lot of Lyme patients use it because Lyme bacteria likes sugar. I should have no sugar in my diet.
Oh, okay.
I shouldn't have like carbohydrates and all that.
Yeah,
I used to
educate.
be really strict on it, really good about it. But over, after 10 years, however long, 2010, I got it. So 8 years.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I take sugar. I've cut out like ice cream out of my diet. I haven't cut dairy completely out, but a lot of it out.
Goat's milk's good to replace.
And a lot of sugars cut out. So I don't worry about it as much but when I notice if I eat like a bunch of sugar,
You've learned how to get a handle on it.
It flares up.
Yeah,
I feel myself.
you get a handle on it.
It makes it
Now,
alive.
what about garlic? Lots of garlic, right?
I don't know.
That's
know.
an
Not me.
anti-inflammatory. It's an antifungal.
Weed.
But
weed.
these food,
Yeah.
you
Weed.
are what you eat.
All I do is weed. I'm a weed then.
If you
I'm
ma-
a fucking weed.
Yeah, but if you make the environment bad for the parasite will move out. I've dealt with this with my cats. I've been breeding,
for
and
me,
have cats for
the
30
only
years.
thing I do is weed.
Right. I know a lot about parasites and protozoals. I mean, right down to the smallest, like
I went through-
Giardia and
I went through
Coccidia
all of that for many, many, many
Yeah.
years. And that gets really old after a while.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you.
Trying to stick to stuff like
Oh,
that
God.
is one.
But you know what?
Saying to do it is one thing,
Right.
and doing it for the
But,
rest of your life is another.
I started studying parasitology though, and it's very, very interesting. I mean, they were organisms just like us. If if they started giving us really shitty food and it was a really bad environment, we'd start moving to another place, or at least we'd be dying and cutting back in our species.
Well, yeah, my diet is whatever I can eat. Like today, I'm hungry because I'm okay, but last week I couldn't eat anything because I would get cramps and it was bad.
Yeah, I've had to learn how to adjust my diet because I got bit by a tick, the Lone Star tick. So I got alpha gal, or is it called anti-alpha gal is what I have. So it was like being injected, and I don't have the enzyme that cows and pigs
I know
have.
a lot of people go through that stuff, and I have a lot of MS symptoms. That's what in
Like
fact, they were
lupus
going
too?
to. In fact, in the beginning, that's where their track was. If I didn't get a positive Lyme test,
wow,
they would have treated me for MS,
And
and I would have went through, and they would have ruled out
Mm-hmm.
Lyme disease because I didn't take the first test because I knew the tests weren't
No,
reliable.
a matter of fact, I was going to say that
I
do
took
3.
4
It's
tests.
like hot potatoes.
I took 4
3,
tests.
1 out of 3.
I went to
What-
4 different places.
Yes.
I took 4 different
Wow.
tests. 2
Yeah.
were positive and 2 were negative.
So then
I
they
was
go
right
with
at
the
the
positive.
50%.
That's what they say.
50%. I'm right at
Yes.
the 50%.
And then what do? They give you doxycycline to start.
That's
then
right.
they give you
I went through that.
ivermectin.
But then
or
I
not
was on.
ivermectin, that
I got
kills
really
dogs,
bad, and then I went on
heartworms.
Rocephin. I was intravenous for Rocephin.
Oh,
I had a
yeah.
PICC line. And I was
Rocephin.
for 2 years. I had a PICC line.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was really
Yeah.
bad. I couldn't talk or walk. Or speak
Interferon, they shoot you,
I
but you
was
got to
very
get the
bad.
interferon balls, the IV balls,
had all
interferon. They
of
pump
that.
you through with.
I had everything.
Yeah, I
I,
know a
went
lot-
through all of that
I,
stuff.
I know a lot about tick diseases.
So
and
I'm
Lyme's.
done. I'm done with that now. I'm
My-
done with all my treatments, and all I do now is I smoke weed.
Yeah. Mine and Bobby, mine and
Mother.
Mine and Bob's son Bobby got a severe case
Wow,
of
wow.
Lyme's when he was 7. My son almost died when he was 7 years old. He got Lyme's and we didn't know what it was. And they told me and Bob the worst case scenario because see, he couldn't walk. His knees were swelled up like this. Bob was with him, had to hold him down while they drew all that fluid out of his knees. His lymph nodes were swollen so bad. The kid couldn't talk because he was autistic from the shots, you know?
I couldn't talk. I couldn't
Yeah,
walk.
so
I couldn't drive my car.
the
I was
kid
gonna
couldn't
sell my
talk.
I was a period of time. I was going to sell that motorcycle because
Well,
I couldn't ride it.
but-
I didn't ride it for 2 years.
I'll tell you what, I remember when they did the Lyme's tests and first telling us that he had leukemia and that he was going to die. He's 7 years old.
They
you
were all about
know?
MS with me. They said
They lie.
They were going because and if I didn't get one of those tests, I would have been treated for MS all these years.
Well, they did two. They did the 2 out of 3
yeah.
test for Bobby too.
Right. But the treatment's different. The treatment's it's
Did you have-
antibiotics. It's
in-
all antibiotics.
Bob-
That's what it's about.
Bobby had an in-heart catheter. Did you have an in-heart
for
pick?
What's that?
In-heart pick for your
I had a pick line,
interferon?
pick line.
So did Bobby. He
I
had a pick line.
I
At 7
used
years old, the kid was ripping it out of his heart.
They were giving it. I was
horrible.
using Rocephin. It's called. They were
Yeah,
pumping me through
Rocephin. I'm very allergic to Rocephin. They gave me
yeah,
that for
I was
pneumonia,
on
and I
all
almost
type
died.
of, but I didn't just take Rocephin. That was the main one. But
Yeah, Rocephin's
I
dangerous,
rotated through probably 10 different different types of antibiotics. I'd go through erythromycin. She had me on different cycles. I had a Lyme literate doctor, they're called.
And they'll give you the
And she
doxycycline
knows,
by the millions, right?
No. My doctor did. She would do things where she knew the life cycle, and she knew which antibiotics would kill
when the eggs hatch, and then when the adult
when they're in their life cycle. So she would
The
say
larva
this one in
stages.
this life cycle will kill it during this period. So I would go through periods where you take this one for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you chop, you stop that for a day, then you switch to this one, then you switch to another one, and you switch back to the other one, and then you go back to this other one. You go back. It was like a whole regimen where I would have to be back and forth. I had literally 30 pills.
Yeah,
I was taking
Albon,
30 to 40 pills every
Flagyl,
day, and it was
all kinds of crazy
And
stuff.
it was all the supplements that I took, and then I took all the
Metrazone.
other pills to take away the side effects of the antibiotics. So it was crazy. I was out of control. But now I can ride my motorcycle. I can function. And I got me to where I could function. That's it. The weed
You
did
know,
it
maybe
for me.
the cycle of it's getting killed off.
The weed did it for me.
Maybe it's not forever.
It'll be forever. And I've accepted that as a fact, and it will be in all my studies. And I have support. I'm good. I got to deal with it. I can deal with it.
Have you found support groups for that?
I got some. I work. What I do is I ride my motorcycle when I can ride, or do what I can do when I can do it. When I can't do it, I don't do it. I don't get mad anymore. I just tell people I never plan. Can't plan. I can say, I'll probably be there.
You know what?
But the day of, I might not.
And you just lay in bed with your eyes closed.
Yeah,
but
I'll
you're
lay-
aware of everything, but you just lay there.
Yeah, I lay there I'll lay there for days on end, days and days. 'Cause it's insomnia too. It causes insomnia, neuropathy. I get
Racing thoughts.
neuropathy. That's part of it.
Oh, God, yeah.
Tingly hands.
Can't hold your phone up.
My feet last week were freezing cold.
yep.
I had I had a heat. I have a heat pad.
That's from
and
drug,
I put a heat pad on
from
my
the
feet,
medicine.
and my feet get freezing cold. I don't know. MS gets like that. Freezing cold, and then they would get hot, like stingy hot and tingly.
You're not on Neurontin, are
I'm
you?
probably explaining something you've know before. That's
Yeah, I hate
right.
neuropathy.
That's part of life. So that's how I am. So I'm not MS. I don't have it all the time, but I have it. I go through periods. It comes and goes. And last week it was really bad.
I got it.
And the insomnia. I could take Ambien, Xanax, smoke weed, the heaviest indicas. It doesn't matter. I don't sleep.
Beer, you'll like a life.
I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol anymore. My wife would kill me if I drank alcohol. She'd kill me if I drank alcohol. Rightfully so, by the way.
Can't turn off the racing thoughts sometimes,
No,
right?
I know my alcohol and me don't mix, but I don't think it would be whatever I have had a beer or two here and there, and it doesn't mix well with my babesia, with my diseases, it flares those things up. I feel really bad. Even if I have a beer, I feel really bad like the next day.
When you're not sleeping, that causes a lot of your problems.
Oh, I
you
go
know. I mean,
periods.
sleep deprivation
I was sleeping
will
good. I was
cause all the
sleeping
other problems.
Last week wasn't the insomnia thing. I couldn't just do anything. I had no energy, but I was sleeping well. I was sleeping okay.
Yes, it sounds like you
So I
need
was
to just
sleeping well,
relax.
but it
just take a
was
break.
How my these symptoms, I call them, it's like a soup of symptoms. They kind of like bubble. It's like you're boiling soup, and all the stuff and ingredients.
Oh, I've been there.
Whatever comes to the top and whatever it decides to come up, that's what it comes up, and I have no control over it. And it kind of like I'll go through cycles of different types of
chaos.
And different right.
Right.
So last week wasn't the insomnia. I didn't have that, so that was good. But I couldn't eat. I couldn't. I had stomach cramps constantly. They didn't stop for a week. Nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, the whole thing. Really bad. That's why I just don't eat. I can't eat because if I eat something, I'm going to be on the floor in the toilet. That's it. So I just don't eat anything. So So we're over, right?
This is the part of the show where we thank the cannabis patients before us who have passed, like Cheryl Miller. Cheryl Miller used to come here to the State House. And
yes, she did.
Fight for her
God bless Cheryl and God bless
Yeah, it was,
Jim.
what, 15
Jim
years
Miller.
the
I want to
other
give a
day.
shout out to Jim Miller always, Jim.
Yep.
Jimbo, you're there, bro. I'm here whenever you need me. Hey, if anybody ever says anything and you need somebody to break a leg or two, you just let me know, all right? I'm there for you, all right?
I'll make sure I PM you.
Sabina Rose was a 15-month-old baby. She died waiting for her cannabis card. Diane Ripatella, Gracie, Cindy Mae, Marie, Jack, Joan Ford, that's William's mother, Jake, Randy Robertson, Polly Connolly, Bill Buckman, Chad, Jeremy, that's Joanne's husband, Colette. Thank you, Don. Matt, Troy. Hey, Wayne, you got to call Jim? You should call him on the air. You should call him up and apologize on the air. Put you on the spot. I like putting you on the spot. Bye, Richie.
Take care, Wayne. Peace. Hey, bro, thank you for everything.
I like stirring the pot. Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ Perry, Roger Barber, who used to come here and fight with us. He fought for his daughter. Bye, Denise. See you. Roger Barber fought for his daughter. And now his daughter, who's a special needs kid, has no daddy. He was a patient. Jay Orletto. He couldn't become a patient. He called me 2 weeks before he died. He says, "Hey, Lefty, I hear you got your card and you got off all these opiates. I want to do that too. How do I do that?" I said, "Well, Jay, you got to get this. You got to get a card for $200. Got to go do this. Got to jump through this hoop." I gave him all the hoops to jump through. And it was much easier for Jay to go down to the corner and get some dope and die. Because he couldn't afford the cannabis anyway. Don't shoot, get stoned. Ella Bagelman. Hattie Osho is my grandma. I got her stoned. I got her high. She didn't even know it. I was giving her a vape bag. I'm like, "Grandma, we're going to test your breathing today." And I gave her a vape bag. I'm like, "Here, Gram, breathe in. Keep breathing. Breathe in. Come on, Gram, breathe some more." So every day I would do this. And after a few days, she was like looking for it. She'd be like,
"Where's the bag, Edward? Edward, where's the bag? You gonna test my breathing today?"
"Yes, Graham, here you go." It was a good thing. Nobody asked any questions, but we both knew. She knew and I knew because she was high as fuck. And she should have been because she was suffering. At the end of her life, she suffered. And nobody should suffer needlessly. They give you all these horrible pills and all these horrible drugs like fentanyl, and they're killing people. They gave a 90-year-old woman chemo. Who gives 90-year-old people chemotherapy? Are you kidding me? Really? 90-year-old women care? You heard the guy. You heard. It was ridiculous. Come on, man. And we won't give them cannabis, but you can have chemo at 90. Really? We got to wrap this up. Jackie Rickert, Anthony and Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, and Honeybee's not here. So we'll talk about her son, Michael Dillon, who died from a drop seizure. Drop seizures are no joke. We have a friend, Sarah, who's afraid to leave her house in Kansas because she has drop seizures. She's afraid to take a shower because of her drop seizures. She showed me pictures of when she hits the bathtub in the shower and she's missing teeth from hitting her face on the friggin' tub. Her whole hand was ripped apart once. She had black eyes. Her VNS was ripped out of her chest. This is what they go through. And why would you give these people more hoops to jump through? If you're a Christian, you should have compassion for these sick people. It's even in the Bible. If you don't believe me, it's in the Bible. Go read it. What you do to the least of us, you do to God. So you need to help the sick people, especially people who are in wheelchairs, disabled war vets, kids with cancer, adults with horrible diseases, suffering. We got to do better. Hashtag they shall grow. What's our hashtag?
They shall grow.
They shall grow. I hope so. For your sake and ours. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.